Roughrider. Donald Narcisse puts his streak and his pride on the line. Next in line, Edmonton kick returner Donnie Ashley follows the Gizmos' footsteps to the end zone and leads the Eskimo charge for a playoff spot.
The guys in the locker room are just talking about it. We have, instead of 2 games, we have 5 more games left. You know, that's the attitude that's going around, and I think if we get in the playoffs, good things might happen.
Solid goal. Curtis Mayfield tops the playlist in Saskatchewan with a team leading 11 touchdowns. And while his club has hit rock bottom, he's not singing the blues just yet.
There's no quit. You know, these guys, we know that anything is possible. We can come out and win this game. We know that we beat Edmonton. If we come out and play well and just let everything else take care of itself, who knows what can happen.
Rekindled, Gizmo Williams finds a new spark on special teams. Home alone, former Eskimo Willie Pless returns to Edmonton with mixed emotions. Winning attitude, Steve Sarkisian braves a 7-game losing streak. Eskimo mystique, Grant Carter still believes even in the deepest, darkest hour. The CFL on CBC and the road to the Grey Cup. Today at Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Eskimos meet the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The last remaining playoff berth in the West, still to be decided on the second last weekend of the season. Good afternoon and welcome to the CFL on CBC on Halloween weekend. I'm Mark Lee in a stadium that has been witness to a tremendous winning tradition. 27 consecutive years in the playoffs, but the Eskimo streak is in jeopardy unless they can win here today on a home field where they've won just once this season. Their circumstances became more dire with this development last night. An improbable tip touchdown pass from Kerwin Bell to Nigel Williams in the last minute, and Winnipeg defeats Toronto 18-13. That eliminates Saskatchewan and moved the Bombers 2 points ahead of Edmonton and in position to cross over to the West for the third and final playoff spot. It makes for some drama here today. Add to that, the home team has kept its starting quarterback a phantom secret until game time. For more on that, let's go to the booth and welcome Chris Cuthbert and Chris Walby.
Thanks, Mark. Good afternoon, everybody. Walby in the Halloween spirit, looking like the Great Pumpkin, so I'm going to play along. We now know Saskatchewan's going to have to go to spoilers this Halloween weekend, and in Edmonton, the big question, who gets to dress up as the #1 quarterback?
Well, we suspect it's Kevin Mason, and the reason we suspect that, Chris, is the fact that Don Matthews wants a guy that's got legs. Nealon Green clone, a guy that can take the corner, and if he can't throw the ball, take off and run with it. That's why Kevin Mason will probably get the start today.
You can see he had good numbers the last time he faced Saskatchewan. Here's Steve Sarkisian, who rallied the Riders back in that game.
Well, this guy has had great numbers, and against one particular team. That's these Edmonton Eskimos. He loves to play against them. He says sometimes we just match perfectly, and he feels very good about playing against the Eskimos.
These two teams have their speed lineups in today, including Fred Bailey for Edmonton.
Well, they both feel they got guys back. Edmonton and Fred Bailey broke his leg Labor Day game. His back is going to give him more speed at the wideout position. Conversely, on the other side, you got Reggie, the Roadrunner Jones, who's just tearing it up out there. He's only played 5 games, and he's just doing great things at that speed.
Eskimos have won 2 of 3 meetings. What are your keys today?
Well, I mean, if I'm Saskatchewan, one of the things I want to do is scare the quarterback, stretch the D. But you know what? Throw those tips out right now. Saskatchewan's not making the playoffs. What they got to do is focus on next year now. You're sending in your resume, baby. Play good. If you're Edmonton, you got to master the red zone. Score touchdowns. Don't live off field goals. They've lost too many close games. And on defense, you got to spook Sarkisian. Go after him, mix it up, change the looks, and crunch him.
Mark, I'll tell you, for the second straight year, he's outdone himself with this Halloween mask. Mark?
The Great Pumpkin, a tremendous day for football. There are some of Chris's friends here on the sidelines. Indian summer warming southern Alberta, 11 degrees. It feels a lot warmer. A hint of wind on a sunny afternoon for football. Coming up on the Canadian Airlines halftime show, Cal Murphy, 7 years after a heart transplant, still coaching and counting his blessings every day. Chris Walby goes one-on-one with the Gizmo in his Dodge Pro Tips, and we'll have the first half highlights as we are set to kick it off here at Commonwealth Stadium. Back to the booth and Chris.
Cal Murphy looking for the elusive 100th victory of his CFL head coaching career. And at the other side, it's Don Matthews. Matthews, and the pressure even greater on his club with that improbable Winnipeg victory last night. Another miracle at Maroons Road. Saskatchewan kicking to the sidelines and out of bounds, perhaps wisely. They watched the tapes of Ashley and Gizmo last week running back kickoffs for touchdowns against Montreal. Giz with a 100-yarder. Ashley with 92, and you can see Giz upset already. Didn't get his chance to put his hands on the pumpkin.
You're absolutely right, and the pumpkin's a great word because he wants to take it all the way down to the end zone. These two guys have just done great things last game against Montreal. You can see Kevin Mason getting the start today, quarterback. Sean Millington and Dybert have got to pick it up. Obviously, Mike Saunders not in the backfield. You got Hervey, Ashley, Vaughn, Bailey, the speed man back at wide receiver. These guys are going to do it. Of course, the center, and anchored by Morris, and Big Beaton at the tackles.
All-Canadian backfield, and the 4 import receivers today. They start with a 6-pack, and Mason, the quarterback draw. You talked about it. Kevin Mason gets the start because of his running ability, and he puts it to good use on the first carry of the game.
Well, this is why they wanted him in the lineup. There's legs right now. These guys up front on Saskatchewan are going to have to stop. Scrivener, Young, and Conley in there in place of Neil Smith. These guys are going to have to round it out. Of course, the ever-great Willie Pless. Mirabrook making a start. Muhammad Ali and Arkel Trulak at the linebackers. And, of course, the secondary with the addition of Glenn Rogers Jr. He loves to look for people, and he likes to mess it up in the backfield.
Mason got 10 on the first carry of the game. The Edmonton Eskimos are the #1 rushing team in the CFL. The Saskatchewan Roughriders last in defense against the run. Pless will have to keep his eyes on Mason today. First down, and the give to Scott Debert, and that is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. There's Shane Muirbrook, the newcomer to this Saskatchewan lineup, who started the year with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And they like this kid because he's got great instinct. He's not a big guy. He's only 6 feet, 230, but he's quick, and he does a nice job of recognizing the guard going and filling a spot and taking Debert down after practically no gain.
That's the first carry for Debert in 8 weeks. Well, I was surprised yesterday seeing Muirbrook. He's not a big guy, but he's active. 2nd and 10. Riders with a blitz. Mason stands in, throwing, and has a completion, but a short gain of just 5 to Fred Bailey, back after the broken leg he suffered on Labor Day in Calgary.
Well, nice job of Mason of getting the ball into Fred Bailey's hands early in the game. Let's see what he can do. He hasn't played since Labor Day. Let's see what happens. Throw a little quick out to him. But as you say, Vincent Donaldson, Johnny in the spot, limits the gain. As a result, Fleming's on the field, and he'll have to punt it away.
What a perfect afternoon here at Commonwealth Stadium. You hope every kid across the country gets to go out for Halloween in conditions like this, and perfect for football and for the speedsters, and they're back. Gulliford is back deep, along with the Superfly, Curtis Mayfield, who takes it on one hop, and a penalty marker on the play. No yards will be called against the Edmonton Eskimos, who start the day just 18 penalties away from a club record in that department.
Has a 5.9-liter Magnum V8, the biggest engine in its class. Introducing the incredibly powerful Dodge Durango. Careful how you use it.
Jill, someone at the front for you.
Dad, is everything all right?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Me? Yeah, no, I'm fine.
I want to take you to lunch.
Oh, I don't know, Dad, today.
Come on, we won't be long.
The warmth of home is at Tim Hortons. Enjoy your favorite Tim's Own sandwich with one of our hearty home-style soups, always made fresh and fast for you.
This was a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Dodge. Proud proud automotive sponsor of the CFL.
There's Steve Sarkisian, who gets the start for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He says in a season of peaks and valleys, the peaks have come against Edmonton. Ricky Whittle replaces the injured Mike Saunders at the running back spot, and they go with the all-import receiving corps. Dan Farthing is the backup today as Gulliford returns to the lineup. Pretty impressive group. And up front, this has been pretty well stable all season long once James Monroe came out of retirement in week 5. Or you tell me before the game, you wonder if they'll try and whittle away at this Eskimo defense today.
You're good.
They fake to Whittle, and Sarkisian going to the air. The long throw for Gulliford falls incomplete. Charles Anthony was in coverage.
Well, as we see Leroy Blue on the lineup, going to be alternating with Grant Carter. As you see, Grant Carter, Brown. The big loss on the defensive front, obviously, Doug Peterson not in there right now. Picked up by Melvin Hunter. The linebacking crew, not a big linebacking crew. Gass, Terry Ray, Marcelo Simmons, but very active. And the secondary anchored by safety Chris Hardy with Rio Wells back line up in place of Anthony Fogle.
Yeah, they lost Fogle this week. Knee injury after an MRI. Here's Sarkisian, 2nd and 10. Gulliford with the catch near the 30-yard line, and that will be close to a first down. But we talked about it from the outset. Gulliford coming in, replacing Farthing, and you've really got a lot of speed on the field for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, if you're going to attack every avenue of the field, you've got to have speed out there. That's not to say Dan Farthing doesn't. Dan Farthing's more possession, route running type of a pattern guy. Where you got Gulliford, who can just take it the distance. As a result, the defensive backs are going to give him a little bit more room, and it's going to open up the throwing lanes for Sarkisian.
Gulliford with his 49th catch of the year. He's missed 3 of the last 4 games. Now Ricky Whittle has the ball, and a short gain for Whittle off the left side. Maybe gets a couple on the play. Terry Ray and A.J. Gass, the tacklers, and Terry Ray has been racking up the defensive stats, especially since Labor Day.
Well, he sure has. He's just one of these guys, you know, he played in the NFL for a number of years, and one of the things he says, the Canadian Football League is his game. He says, I'm not the biggest guy, but he says, I'm having fun. I'm here for 4.5, 5 hours a day. The guys are great. The chemistry is great. It's a lot different than down there where it's 8 to 5 Joel.
2nd and long, 2nd and 8 yards for Sarkisian, and he looks downfield as an open man, and coming back to intercept the ball, Eric Edwards. Eric Edwards closed on the ball quickly, and he is dropped at the 50-yard line. But Steve Sarkisian has served up his 21st interception of the year, and that's been the biggest problem in the Saskatchewan offense.
Well, they say that Steve, one of the knocks on Steve Sarkisian is he throws a soft ball that it hangs in the air. You're going to see when he drops back, he's going to look to throw the football deep. He sees Mayfield. He wants to go to Mayfield right now. The ball hangs up. Mayfield expects the ball to come. He doesn't come back to the football, and as you say, allows Eric Edwards to break on a football and come up with a nice interception and give Edmonton great field position to start this drive.
So Edmonton takes over at the Saskatchewan 54 out of the shotgun. Mason delivers low, and a completion on the far side. Again, Fred Bailey with the catch, and we talked to Kevin Mason prior to the game about this start.
Personally, you know, I want it on my shoulders. You know, that's the kind of player I am. You know, I want the pressure on me. You know, I want the 27-year tradition on my shoulders. You know, I want to be the guy to go out there and win it and get the team into where we want to be.
Kevin Mason with his 3rd Eskimos start, played a couple of years, 23 games with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 96-97. 2nd and 5, quarterback option, and the flip to Bailey now coming out of the backfield, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Chris, we were told we would see this at times today. Without Troy Mills out with the broken hand, Bailey would line up as a tailback on occasion.
Exactly. What the coach Matthews said is he wants to do is almost make it a la pinball Clemens of Montreal. Put him in there, line him up at a linebacker or inside as a running back, mix him up, try and get the matchup you want. As a result, they do it that time, lining up out of backfield. Great job of reaction by the Saskatchewan defense.
So Sean Fleming comes in on 3rd and 5, and he will kick the ball away. Mayfield waiting for it, and what backspin. Fleming a pretty good golfer, and he pulled that ball back. Mayfield now picks it up, and he might get outside. Does! Flag down, and Curtis Mayfield is on the run. And after wanting to let that ball bounce into the end zone, he ends up picking it up and bringing it back 32 yards.
Well, the discipline of the cover team is that when you see the ball bounce back, you've got to get out of that 5-yard range. They get caught. Curtis Mayfield does an excellent job of waiting for them to come in that boundary, grabbing the football, gets a great block, gets to the outside, beats the guy, and turns it upfield for a really nice game.
Charles Asman looks like he had his bell rung on the play.
No yards. Edmonton, number 29, declined. First down, Saskatchewan.
Well, Picasso Nelson with the call of being inside that 5-yard restraint zone, but again, nice job of Curtis Mayfield seeing that, picking up the football, and the guys on his blocking team just doing a great job. And you can see right there, just a nice job of coming back and picking him off and allowing Curtis Mayfield to get to the outside.
That's an enormous block by Kelly Malvo, and it rocked Asman. So the linebacker out of Guelph in his second year with the Edmonton Eskimos, getting to his feet and shaking the cobwebs after that huge hit.
Of this program is brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe Mocha, just one of our 3 delicious specialty coffees.
Asman makes his way to the sidelines. You talked about it in the opening. The season is all but over for Saskatchewan, but it's time for guys to make plays like that on the films for the coaches that come in next
Chris,
year.
You don't know who the coaching staff, and that might be Cal Murphy next year, but if it's a new guy in, if they clean house, the only way they're going to evaluate players is by watching what they see on film. It's actually like your resume. That's what it is right now, and you got to make sure that you impress the coaching staff to have them at least invite you back to camp to try out for a job.
It's screen stuffed by Marcelo Simmons. Loss of 2 on the play. And Sarkisian, who told us yesterday, I guess what every quarterback tells us, we can't get in second and long, has to face it here.
Well, the nice thing about Sarkisian is he comes from a throwing school, BYU, Brigham Young in the States, where he threw the football almost every down and says, you know what, if we were incomplete down there, we just came back and threw it again. So he's used to this, and he loves to put the ball in the air.
So 2nd and 12 for number 12. Stands in, delivers, and that one almost picked off, bounced in front of Torrey Hunter. Gulliford and Reggie Jones got caught in the same pattern and bumped into each other.
Well, there's no way that that should happen right now. As you say, Gulliford and Jones in the same area, and when you got 2 receivers there, you're obviously going to have the 2 cover guys, the DB in the corner in there as well. They both see each other. They both break off their pattern. Sarkisian expects one to go deeper, and he's very lucky that that ball did not become intercepted again, resulting in Edmonton getting even better field position to start another drive.
Gizmo's back, awaiting the punt from Paul McCallum. And McCallum angles that out of bounds at the Eskimo bench. They are not going to give Giz a chance this afternoon, apparently. And that ball will be marked out at the Edmonton 48. Good field position for the Eskimos in this scoreless first quarter.
Even though Dodge Ram is the bright red gold standard of pickup trucks, we're always improving things. We've made our available Magnum V8 engines even more powerful. We've improved the ergonomics of the already world-class interior. In all, we've made over 100 improvements, including this one. Our unique flow-through ventilation system. The Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
Mornings are never easy, but a hot breakfast sure helps. Start your day with McDonald's new freshly baked breakfast bagels. There's classic ham and egg, zesty Western omelet, and sizzling bacon and egg, all served on bagels we bake fresh daily.
You manipulate manipulated me into this.
I fought for you, and I still fight.
The Insider is the best film of the year.
He's only the key witness in the biggest public health reform issue in U.S. history.
It will pin you to your seat. One of the most breathlessly entertaining pictures of the year. Al Pacino, Russell Crowe.
It's valid and true and proven. It's not the point whether you tell the truth or not.
The Insider, a Michael Mann film. Starts Friday, November 5th.
Eskimos' playoff hopes are on thinner ice with that win by Winnipeg yesterday, but Don Matthews remains confident.
We have great speed. We have because of the injuries, we have depth at almost every position. And we think we have a legitimate chance that if we can get everybody put together, whether it's on the road or at home, we feel that the Cup is still our goal and we can get there.
Here's Kevin Mason taking his time and now flushed out. Trulock with pressure, and they finally get to Mason and drill him out, and a flag is thrown as Mason was taken out heavily at the Saskatchewan bench.
Well, these are the things you can't do. You got to keep your composure. We realize that Saskatchewan doesn't have any chance of being in the playoffs. They got 2 games left. Little over exuberance on the part of Steve Connolly. Sees Kevin Mason step out of bounds. As he does, he still gives him a shot to the ground. The referee right there throws the flag. And
major foul, unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan 94. First down, Edmonton.
15 yards against Conley, who was a third-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers in '96. They had Mason in trouble. They'll let the Eskimos off the hook with that shove out of bounds. To finish the thought, Don Matthews talking about the fact they've won in Calgary, they've won in BC. However, they need at least one more win just to get in the playoffs now. Here's Sean Millington. And Millington to the 41-yard line, back in the tailback position for the first time in about a half season. He had over 200 yards, 212 to be exact, 2 seasons ago against the Saskatchewan Roughriders as a member of the BC Lions.
And it's just a deep handoff again. We've seen a lot of teams do this, use this year. Give it him deep, let him find his hole. Sean Millington has not carried the ball since September 17th against these very Saskatchewan Roughriders, but he wants to do it. He feels, I'm fresh, I'm healthy, let me do it.
And he gets another chance, and he carries the pile across the 35-yard line, and John Millington will move the sticks. I wondered why he hadn't carried the ball, but Don Matthews feels that Troy Mills was his best runner and Sean Millington was his best blocker, and hence Mills got all the carries.
But I think you even hit a bigger tip when you said the fact that injuries have allowed Don Matthews to switch players around and create depth, and he really has done a great job of having guys come in and fill. As you see Willie Pless coming in making a tackle, not going for any of that stuff right now.
Ball at the Saskatchewan 34-yard line, 6.5 minutes to play, first quarter. Here comes the blitz. Mason ducked away, looks downfield, open receiver, Donnie Ashley, knocked out of bounds by Curtis Gallick, but some heads-up play by Kevin Mason to elude the rush.
A real nice job of Kevin Mason eluding the rush of Glenn Rogers Jr. is just going to come in on a halfback blitz. He's lining up right there. You're going to see him coming. Kevin Mason sees him, does a nice job of spinning away. Gets to the outside now. What happens now is Curtis Gallick, the safety, has to fall back and try and cover the receiver, Donnie Ashley. He doesn't get there in time. 87, Donnie Ashley, nice catch. Moves the chains, puts him in scoring position in the dreaded red zone.
23 yards, the length of the gain. Mason to Ashley, first down. And this time, Mason can't get the option toss off, and he's buried back at the 20-yard line.
Saskatchewan has worked on this. You got to remember now, Reggie Slack and the Saskatchewan Roughriders live off the option play, so they practice against us all week. What happens here? Edmonton tries to take a page out of their playbook. They just covered all over. Scribner's there, Arkell, Chulak is there. They got it covered and smothered the back, Millington, and on that play, the quarterback, Mason.
Now, Don Matthews didn't want to name his starting quarterback to give Saskatchewan a head start. Cal Murphy told us yesterday he knew it would be Mason from Tuesday on, so they prepared for Mason despite the mystery in Edmonton. Second down, ball picked off, and Vince Benson Donaldson has the interception, his first of the year. Only the 10th for Saskatchewan all season long, but this is a big one to snuff a promising Edmonton drive.
Well, one of the things that Don Matthews wanted out of Kevin Mason was the ability to scramble, use his legs to beat you. One of the other things that happens, though, is that Kevin Mason hasn't thrown a lot of footballs. This is just sitting back there, rearing the ball, throwing it hard, not even seeing where the receiver really is. You're putting it to a spot. Put it to where the receiver is going to be, not where the receiver is. And what happens as a result, Benson Donaldson comes up with, as you say, the 10th interception for the Saskatchewan defense this year.
Easy pickings for the 9-year veteran, the hitman. Saskatchewan has to start deep in their own zone, and Ricky Whittle, the ball carrier, up to the 10-yard line. Melvin Hunter involved in the tackle. Whittle, a former draft choice who did play for the New Orleans Saints.
Well, I mean, he's a good running back. It's only his 3rd game. If there's a knock on him early, it's the fact that he's fumbled 3 times. They definitely miss Mike Saunders in the backfield because it's timing. Saskatchewan likes to do a lot of counter plays. By that, I mean pulling the backside guard and tackle. And as a result, it's timing. Whittle doesn't have that timing with this group yet.
2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz and the handoff and buried. A.J. Gass was coming on the blitz and they ran right into him and a host of green and gold tacklers.
Well, they're just going to try and run a draw play. Sit back, give the ball to Whittle. Almost looks like he's a blocking back because by the time he gets the football, you can see Gass is right there taking it with him right there. There's absolutely nowhere for Whittle to run right there. You got to look at that. You see a guy coming up. It might be an opportunity if you're Steve Sarkisian to audible, get out of that play, get the ball to the outside. You're not going to get anything up the gut.
So the Eskimo D does its job. And Edmonton will get the ball, in all likelihood, in outstanding field position. McCallum with only a 39.5-yard average. His last punt was 28, trying to kick it away from Gizmo. Now Henry's got the football. Flag down. He'll try and turn the corner. Can't do it this time. And he's brought down at the 46. 39-yard punt. No return. Penalty marker on the field. Halloween weekend in Edmonton.
Have a big bite of life.
Have a laugh, share a smile, take a ride, play a while. Make the most of every day. No matter who you're kissing, a simple thing for wishing life should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
Swiss Chalet's tasty new menu includes a delicious sesame ginger chicken salad and a scrumptious chicken wrap.
All the tasty things for dishing, a simple thing for wishing life should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
Vimy Ridge, Hong Kong, Dieppe, Caen, Cap Yong. I'm Cliff Chatterton. In the War Amps Never Again video series, the stories are told by the Canadian volunteers who were there. Learn about the Newfoundlanders and Gallipoli, the murder of 130 Canadian POWs in Normandy, the award of a U.S. presidential citation to a Canadian regiment in Korea. The War Amps, preserving Canada's military heritage.
Extreme, now playing at the Canadian Museum of Civilization's IMAX Omnimax Theatre.
Welcome back to Edmonton, which will be home to the World Track and Field Championships in 2001. And here's Jack Agrios, the chairman of the Edmonton Organizing Committee. What impact do you think games of these magnitude will have in this city?
It's going to be enormous. You've got to remember that for 2 weeks in August of 2001, Canada will be the center of the sporting world. This is huge. It'll be the biggest sporting event that this country will have ever seen.
Jack, what sort of impact will the championships have on the stadium here, built back for the 1978 Commonwealth Games?
Well, it's a magnificent stadium, but you got to remember that this is the third largest sporting event in the world, and we've had the IAAF representatives here this year, past week in fact, and may I say that there'll be enormous changes. We'll have significant changes to the track, the field. This will be a new stadium, as great as it still is.
Jack, good luck.
Thank you so much, Mark. We look forward to seeing you in 2001.
We'll be here. Chris?
Home of the 1978 Commonwealth Games. It is such an outstanding facility. And you know, all the players love to play on the natural turf here at Commonwealth. I think the visiting players have enjoyed it a little more this year as Edmonton trying to break a 6-game home losing streak. And here's Millington thundering for a first down to the 15. We should just update you that there was a no-yard penalty on the Giz return, and that helped take the ball down. And now a first down, courtesy of Sean Millington, and the Eskimos knocking on the door again.
Well, he's carried the ball 2 times in a row, and he's really getting good mileage out of his offensive linemen, particularly Morris, Growagan, and Almashtu, but front from the center onto the right side, they are creating a nice hole. And I tell you what, Sean Millington is going hard north-south, and he's a big man at 225 pounds. When he gets that thing going, they used to call him Diesel. Well, he's fired up today.
First down from the Saskatchewan 14. Out of the scatter, and 3 receivers go left side, double tight end. Millington again, and John Millington runs into Willie Klass and is down at the 8-yard line. 6 more for Diesel.
Well, the Diesel's getting a great job. We talked about the offensive line, but I tell you what, nothing works without these big hoggies up front, and they just do a nice job of getting a hat on a hat. You can see Almashtu working there. He's been working there. And when the linebacker is the next level that makes contact with the running back, your offensive line has done a pretty good job of creating a seam.
The Eskimos have averaged 254 yards rushing against Saskatchewan this season. That is a remarkable number. Of course, 2/3 of that coming from either Nealon Green or Troy Mills, and neither in the lineup today. However, Edmonton still moving the football on the ground.
And moving successfully, running the ball, and you know what, that's just going to open up the passing game with these speedy receivers they have as well.
Late change as Muirbrook goes out for Saskatchewan. Now play whistled in. 2nd and 4 from the 8. 5-receiver pack, but back to Millington, and Millington broke a tackle and down to the 3-yard line.
Well, the big man is just having a time of his life right now. I mean, he really wants to carry the football. Primarily, as you said, a fullback, a blocking back, a non-glory position. Now he gets to be the star, gets the football. You see Troy Mills watching on right now. He wishes he was in the lineup, but I'm sure he's very happy for his partner, Sean Millington, to carry the mail today.
You know, Sean's had knee problems, and I asked Don Matthews yesterday, can he still carry the football? Twice an All-Canadian. He's answering the question in this first quarter. First down, goal from the 3. Millington near the goal line, touchdown.
Straight ahead, cloud of dust football, just get a hat on a hat, get some movement, let Sean Millington do the rest. Does a nice job of coming through there, again, north-south, nothing fancy. He's not going to give you a leg, take it away. He smells the goal line, and he's not going to be denied. And one of the things that's really impressed me on this drive with Sean Millington carrying the mail is that he's been hit, but he keeps leg drive and keeps making more yards as a result, and takes it over after contact on that one from 3 yards out to give Edmonton the lead. Boy, you got to be excited if you're Edmonton right now.
Finally, some red zone production. 3 times inside the 20 last week against Montreal. They had to settle for field goals. The interception here on their first good scoring chance, but this time Millington pushes it across.
Well, you got the big boys up front right there, and all they're going to do is get a hat on a hat. You can see they're making contact, but by the time they make contact, the football has crossed the line. It's being delivered, and the points are on the board. Great job on the offensive lineman of getting in there, and also we should give some plugs to Scott Ebert, the fullback in this position, who's usually playing where Sean Millington plays normally, with Troy Mills in the lineup, who does a great job of lead blocking there.
Well, Well, Sean Millington had not carried the football in 5 weeks. He's lugged it 7 times already in this first quarter for 41 yards.
Well, could we have shades of that game when he played for BC against Saskatchewan, had the 200-plus yards? I mean, he's well on track right now.
Eskimos striking first in the final minute of the first quarter. Fleming kicks it off. Curtis Mayfield. Flag down. Mayfield down at the 27.
And not a good sign anytime they throw the flag on the receiving team. It's usually a holding call or a blocking from behind. And you can see there's a holding call. They're going to march Saskatchewan back 10 more yards, putting them deeper in the hole to start this drive.
Well, you can see Ken Lazarick and the officials wearing black armbands today.
Holding Saskatchewan, number 35, first down.
Sean Daniels called, and our sympathies go out to the family of Ross Perrier. I think everybody around the league really shook up in the last couple of days with the news of his death. And they're all wearing his number 16, and thoughts of the director of CFL officiating, who was the head referee Grey Cup game here at Commonwealth in 1984. Sarkisian throwing that long out and wrapped up, short gain. Curtis Mayfield with the catch on the final play of the opening quarter here at Commonwealth Stadium. Sean Millington the touchdown, and the Edmonton Eskimos with a 7-0 lead.
Thanks for your help with the stuff, guys.
You used to have a sense of humor.
You like that, Dan?
Didn't he steal your lunch money in 8th grade?
You know, I was a pudgy kid. I think he was trying to do me a favor. Hi, guys.
She broke up with you?
Yeah, she broke up with me, okay?
Do you mind if I date her?
Thanks, Jared.
Further proof, we guess, that minivans really are for kids.
Come on, Mama's boy, let's go.
Who are you calling Mama's boy?
Winter has a way of giving just about everyone a lot of static. But you can help eliminate dry air in your home with humidifiers and more from your neighborhood home hardware. Great selection, helpful advice, and no static.
Sorry, kids. That won't work anymore.
Help is close to home.
Keep your home safe with an S-Tech plug-in carbon monoxide detector with LCD readout.
CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Dodge, proud automotive sponsor of the CFL.
Eskimos enjoyed great field position in that first quarter, and Sean Millington has the opening touchdown of the game.
Anytime you get this kind of movement, Chris Morris, look at these guys. Look at the leg drive. We talked about the leg drive. After initial contact, Willie Pless with a great tackle there, but he's not going to be denied. He smells it, he knows where the pay dirt is, and he cashes in his chips and gets the touchdown.
First quarter numbers, Saskatchewan started deep in their own zone with their possessions at just 11 yards.
Well, I mean, we talked about the rushing game right there. Sean Millington obviously eating the clock up 9 minutes to 5 minutes, but anytime you're rushing from 53 yards to 2, the biggest thing that has to happen is Saskatchewan has to respond. You don't want to get behind early, or they have to throw their running game totally out and throw the ball every down.
Second down, 4 to go. Movement on both sides of the line where the Eskimos drawn. It's like a procedure call.
League of procedure, Saskatchewan, 52.
You know,
still second down.
Chris, this is something. We came down from the hotel with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the elevator, and, you know, they were discouraged. They watched the game last night. They knew that once Winnipeg had won, that their hopes of the playoffs were out. And you can just see right there, Ben Fairbrother moves a little early the concentration is not where it should be right now. And you can't blame him sometimes, but you're getting paid to play, so you got to show up for 60 minutes.
2nd and 8 now. There's the out to Reggie Jones, catching it in front of Torrey Hunter, but short of a first down as we join Mark Lee.
Chris, I'm with Al Ford, who ended a 28-year association with the Roughriders as a player, a coach, and this week as a general manager, handing in your resignation. I know this is more than a job for you. It must have been a very difficult decision.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I had a little trouble getting through my speech, and I have a lot of fond memories. I met a lot of great people, and that's what I'll take with me from the game.
Al, you put your heart and soul into this football club. A lot of people are wondering, though, small community-owned teams, are they at a disadvantage against private-owned teams in bigger cities?
No, well, smaller cities always have a little disadvantage. We always have. I mean, that's the way it is in the prairies, and we just have to do other things to overcome that. And Saskatchewan Roughriders will have a lot of great future things happen to them. So, you know, I'm happy that I did the best I could, and hopefully we have a nucleus here that can turn this thing around, and I'll be in the stands cheering like all the other fans.
We'll look for you again at Taylor Field.
Okay, thanks Al. Okay.
Chris?
Mark, Al's got something to cheer about right now as Gizmo Williams fumbles the punt after a 55-yard punt by Paul McCallum, and Saskatchewan comes up with a loose ball.
Well, just a nice job of coveraging. You can see he gets the football, and right there, Muirbrick just going to get the ball out there along with Arkel Trulak, and nice job of jarring the football and recovering it in Edmonton territory.
Best field position for Sarkisian. Flag down, Whittle out of the backfield. Trying to get a block from Donald Narcisse, and he's dropped around the 35. Holding, though, the call will negate the play and will march Saskatchewan back.
Well, we talked about the mental discipline part.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 67. First down repeated.
Well, Dan Comiskey with the hold. The biggest thing is now you got to remember, we talked about this earlier, you're out of the playoffs, but you got to play for tomorrow now. You got to play for next year. You got one more game. You can't fold your tent. Right now we're seeing him taking procedures. We're seeing him take holding penalties. This is not what Cal Murphy wants to see out of his Chargers today.
1st and 20. 5 penalties for 55 yards already against Saskatchewan. Sarkisian stands and throws. Gulliford with the catch, and he was hit before the ball got there by Torrey Hunter.
Nice job of catching the football. As you say, Torrey Hunter a little too close to Gulliford, and he's going to get called for pass interference. But, you know, give Gulliford credit for hanging on to that football. Ball is low. He comes back to it, as any good receiver will do, shielding the football from the defender. Torrey Hunter recognizes this and tries to come over his back on it, dislodge the football, and the ref right there, nice call. And they'll move it up.
That'll make it an automatic first down.
Edmonton, number 4. First down, Saskatchewan.
But a nice throw. I like the throw by Sarkisian, putting the ball where only Gulliford could catch it. Gulliford, of course, an experienced receiver, knowing full well that I got to come back and help my quarterback on those low throws.
Gulliford with a couple of touchdowns against Edmonton this year. Now Saskatchewan is threatening. Ball at the Edmonton 34. First down. Sarkisian over the middle, incomplete.
Well, he had Curtis Mayfield coming across the middle. Ball was right there. I think Mayfield's not too happy. He thought he should have had the catch. You see the ball right on the rope. Nice throw. They're a little behind, but Mayfield, you know, the consummate pro that he is, feels that any time the ball's near him, he can catch it. And he gets more upset with the fact he doesn't come up with the football. Whether or not it was a good throw or not, he just feels it's around me, I'm going to catch it.
Charles Anthony and Chris Hardy in coverage, and now 2nd and 10 for Saskatchewan. Sarkisian under pressure, and down he goes. Dropped back at the 44-yard line. And Malvin Big Game Hunter has the sack.
Well, it comes up with his 4th sack, but they're bringing Marcelo Simmons right there, the outside linebacker. They're bringing him on the blitz. As a result, there's not enough guys to pick him up. One guy comes free. He pulls the ball down. Anytime a quarterback pulls the football down, it allows the rest of the defenders to come on and swamp him under, and that's exactly what they did. It's a nice job by the Eskimo defense on that play.
Huge sack for the Eskimos as they push the Green Riders out to field goal range, and McCallum will have to punt. Angling another punt away from Williams. And this will go out inside the 5, and it does go out for a single point. So a tough break. McCallum looked like he had the perfect coffin corner kick. Instead, it's a point, and Saskatchewan is on the board at Commonwealth.
This moment. When the time is right, the season festive. When we take in the colors and share the harvest. When we taste and toast the fruits of the land.
Santé! And here's to fall and more to discover.
It's the way a good steak sandwich tastes like it came from a steakhouse. Introducing the HP Steak and Cheese Sandwich at Subway. Made for you, just the way you want it. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Our region and utilities are in the race to get ready for the year 2000. Can they finish on time? Keeping essential services up and running. Monday at 6 on Newsday. Newsday, what news is meant to be.
Back on the Saskatchewan sideline where quarterback Reggie Slack is in uniform but will not be allowed to play today. He had an MRI here in Edmonton yesterday, and although nothing was found wrong with his brain, he is suffering from a slight concussion after taking a shot on the chin last week against Hamilton and admitted to seeing spots yesterday. So he is dressed but won't play. Saskatchewan with just 2 quarterbacks today. Chris?
Had a chance to talk to Reggie yesterday. A little woozy, wasn't he?
Well, he said, you know, sometimes he just stands up, and after we're standing here for a little bit, he'll start to get dizzy and feels like he's almost going to pass out. So it's a great move of bringing him here just for experience. I don't really know why he's dressed. You know he's never going to see the field. He didn't even throw a ball in warm-up.
Terry Vaughn with the catch there. Went over 1,000 yards for the 5th consecutive season last week against the Montreal Alouettes. 9-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 1. Ellington, and he crashes over for another first down. And Terry Vaughn setting up that first down with his catch, and he's the go-to guy in this Edmonton Eskimo offense.
I pretty much do what a defensive backs will allow me to do, you know, meaning that you know, I'll cut them if I have to. You know, if they cheap shot me, believe me, I will cheap shot them back. You know, if they help me up off the ground, you know, I help them up off the ground. You know, that's kind of how I play.
Terry Vaughn, some of his best games have been against Saskatchewan this year. Here's Mason looking deep, and somebody held up in the route. It was Terry Vaughn, who was jostling with Todd McMillan as the ball falls incomplete, and a penalty marker on the field.
Well, they're going to call it against Saskatchewan. The flag actually thrown a ways from the receiver, but you can tell
legal
by the
contact. That was the receiver. Saskatchewan, number 16. First out.
Well, Shannon Garrett with the infraction, but you could tell that Mason was expecting his receiver to break free and go deep because the ball was at least 20 yards over the head of the intended receiver. And as a result of the collision and the interference, they throw Shannon Garrett with a pass interference call.
I'm talking about that secondary with Cal Murphy yesterday. Just 9 interceptions coming into the game. He said we should be up amongst the leaders if they caught half the balls that they had a chance at this year. And it's interesting to note, of the 10 interceptions now that Saskatchewan has, 4 have come against Edmonton. 1 in this game. Here's the pitch, right side, Millington. And Millington dragged down after a short gain.
Well, nice job of Saskatchewan defenders stretching it out, allowing the pursuit to take them over right there. Everybody's still hustling. The defense, one of the things about Saskatchewan is their defense has really played well all year. Their offense has kind of put them in holes, throwing the ball, turning it over. As you say, they've only got 9 picks, 10 coming in, so they haven't created a lot of opportunities, but for the most part have played very solid in limiting and making everybody earn everything against them.
There's big Colin Scribner digging in. It's 2nd and 8. And the Eskimos have converted 4 of 6 second down situations. Mason, open receiver. That's Fred Bailey. And Todd McMillan gets him around the ankles, but it's a big first down for Edmonton to the Saskatchewan 27.
Well, it's a nice throw and a nice read by Kevin Mason. He sits back there and he throws the wide ball. He throws the long ball across the field to Fred Bailey. As a result, being on the wide side of the field, the ball's got to travel a lot, but the defensive back will play off and allow him to catch the football, and then he's got to come up. Todd McMillan, in this case, has got to close and limit the gain, but not this time until Fred picked up some big yardage.
Of the 4 quarterbacks Edmonton's employed this year, I don't think there's much doubt Mason's got the strongest arm. He's running this time, and he's down at the 25, so he gets 3 there, and flags fly late. Glenn Rogers Jr. in the middle of it, after Rogers was in what appeared to be a heated discussion with Todd McMillan after the last play.
Well, we used to play him, and we had receivers. I could tell you, Chris Armstrong used to play for us.
Major foul, face mask, Saskatchewan, number 26, first down.
And he would offer, Chris Armstrong would offer us money if one of the big old linemen would go down the field and take a shot at Glenn Rogers Jr. He plays tough. Some people say he plays on the line of being dirty. He's a very aggressive football player. This case, obviously, getting caught, having the hands and the face mask, but the receivers know where he is, I'll tell you that, because they're worried about him. Sometimes he just crosses the line a little bit, though.
3-time All-Canadian with the Edmonton Eskimos. Now down to the 13. It's 1st and 10 Edmonton. Millington time again. And a tough guy to bring down. He gets it to the 7 and has 6 more.
Well, the thing about Sean Millington is people don't realize how strong this guy is. He's not like a typical running back who gets low. He runs high. But Willie Pless is fighting off. He sees the man, beats the block, and comes right in here and gets a shot on him in the back. But Sean Millington still picking up good first down yardage.
Willie Pless, the quarterback of that defense. They give Millington 5 as they spot it at the 8. So 2nd and 5. And the Eskimos operate out of the scatter, and the 3 receivers go right. Mason to throw near the end zone and almost picked off. Todd McMillan. He was almost going the other way, 110.
Well, you talked about it yesterday when you said, Cal Murphy said, we've only got 10 now. We should have a whole lot. We can't hang on to him. Todd McMillan just breaks beautifully on this football. He sees the receiver. He reads Kevin Mason when he wants to throw the football, and he should have had that one, picked it off in front of Ed Hervey, and he, as you said, he'd been going a long way before anyone would have caught him.
So the Eskimos now 1 for 3 down in the red zone in this game, and that has been a problem spot all season long. This is an easy one for Fleming, who is still trying to find his rhythm as the field goal kicker. Chip shot through, and the Eskimos add to their lead. Just under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. And Commonwealth, it's 10-1 Eskimos.
The comfortable Accord sedan from Honda. It's one powerful car.
Connect people to the network, and suddenly creating simple documents just isn't good enough. Now they want to saddle-stitch booklets, side staple reports. Hey, they'd 3-hole punch and Z-fold their inter-office mail if they could. They want the high-volume digital workhorses they've been promised, machines they can access from their desktops that double as walk-up copiers. The only machines that'll quench their insatiable appetite for all that is digital. Image-runner digital production systems from Canada. Here's the future. Let's get to work.
Oh, 5. 33. 93,747.2.
0.2? 1947.45.
Oh, 999. 422.2.
5.2.
522.
5.252.
759.
721.
Excuse me. Are we making money?
Turn your numbers into real information with QuickBooks, the accounting software that makes business make sense.
Thanks for joining us on CBC Sports Saturday of the CFL on CBC here in Edmonton, and we invite you to log on to our website and vote for the top Canadian of all time. The polls will close midnight November 7th, and we'll make the announcement at Grey Cup. Chris?
And Mark, I've noticed Chris Walby very high up in the voting. Ricky Whittle with the ball, and he dropped it. Play had been whistled dead. You mentioned he had 3 fumbles in his first 2 games. Now, is this for top Canadian or biggest Canadian?
Well, you know what? I'm probably getting some votes because I think that being the only Hoggy on there, you got a lot of Hoggies out there who say, hey, we don't get no respect, so maybe they're at home plugging the computer.
Well, I've also noticed you campaigning heavily with the offensive linemen across the league.
They're the best group of guys on any football team.
Not going to argue with them. 2nd and 5 for Saskatchewan. Short drop and a drop ball. Mayfield has had 2 in his hands today.
This is a situation you can't have right now. They need to get out of this doldrum, this funk they're in right now. Sarkisian is putting the ball on the money. He sees right there, but he wants to take off before he's got the football. Another drop, another time they got to punt the ball away. Now they got to start getting some momentum going, move the football, try and get some points on the board, get him out of this doldrum they're in right now.
He only had 1 catch last week against Hamilton for 8 yards. 3 away from 300 in his career, but the Superfly doesn't have the sticky fingers this afternoon.
Well, surprisingly, he's had 16 catches for 212 yards and a couple touchdowns against the Edmonton this year, so he likes playing these guys, but he's off to a slow start today.
Paul McCallum, the punt, Gizmo on the run, and off his hands out of bounds. Well, there seemed to be some movement on the line. I thought they may have drawn the Eskimos offside, but no flag was thrown. 42-yard punt by McCallum. 6:44 to play, first half. Eskimos need a win.
It's fall, and people are coming home to Honda to see the people who know Hondas inside and out. And right now, Home Sweet Home is even sweeter because our Winterization Plus multi-point inspection plus oil and filter change is just $58.88. So why open your hood to strangers? Bring it home to Honda.
Extreme. Now playing at the Canadian Museum of Civilization's IMAX OmniMax Theater.
great Halloween crowd here at Commonwealth Stadium. It is not a sellout, but again, it looks like they've got over 30,000 here, most of them in costume. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I've noticed something a little different about the crew here today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just think it's great that they're hiring a lot of your family to work with us. I mean, this is great.
I get a chance to work with the great Pumpkin. Eskimos go back to work on offense. Mason off to Millington when he couldn't find his primary receivers downfield. And, well, this is a recording. Sean Millington looks like he's got another first down.
Well, another first down, and this, as you say, he's not the primary receiver. He's just going to leak out of the backfield, but excellent protection by the offensive line. He just chips right there, gets the outside. There's no rush. Mason's got all day to look for his receivers. Checks off first, second, third receiver, just dumps it off to Millington, and he does the rest. Picks up 9 yards and puts him in second and short.
Yeah, they do mark him just short of the first down, second and less than a yard. And Mason will push behind the pile. Elmesh Tube, Groenwagen, and Val St. Germain, who's returning to the lineup.
Well, I think that's the big adjustment they've made, or the big addition they got to their offensive line, is getting big Val St. Germain back in the lineup. He missed 3 games with a bad ankle. David Heisman, who played in his place, did a great job, but they said, you know what, when you get a veteran like Val St. Germain back in the lineup, it just brings the level of the offensive line up. And I know that Bruce Beaton was happy to see his old partner back playing left guard beside him.
There's Marcus Crandall and Dan Crowley charting on the sidelines as Mason is the quarterback. First and 10. Lots of time. There's Terry Vaughn down at the Saskatchewan 44.
Well, what does Fred Bailey do? He didn't make this catch. What does adding a guy with Fred Bailey's type of speed do? It stretches your defense out horizontally. Means they can't cheat. Means the middle of the field you're going to have openings. And Terry Vaughn takes advantage of it, finds the seam. He just goes down there right in front of Shannon Garrett. Nice catch. Moves the stick. And I tell you what, they're throwing the ball. I'm really impressed with the way Mason's throwing today early in this game.
27 yards. Mason efficient in this first half. But now it's back to Millington. And he has been a load in this first half. Finally, Ali and Conley bring down the big running back.
Well, he's just, as I said, the thing that I'm really impressed with is when he gets the football, the legs, it's 100 miles an hour straight. Look at, I know where I'm going, lower the shoulder. Conley hits him. Everybody's trying to get him. Bummed Ali gets him. They don't stop him till he drags for another 3 yards.
Top Canadian in the CFL in 97. And he has 7 more. Second and 3. Millington. And again, boy, the contact down there. Millington punishing runner.
And Chris, you know what? Don Matthews is going double tight end in the play. He brought Leroy Blue out there playing tight end. So you got 7 offensive linemen out there right now. It's short yardage. He runs over him. Watch him. Oh, hello, Leroy. He just takes him for a ride. He says, I don't care who's going to get in my way. I'm just going north-south. You're there. Get ready to get knocked. And Leroy Blue on that play took the brunt of that punishment.
11th first down for Edmonton. Saskatchewan is only 2. Leroy's saying it's easier playing on defense. First and 10. Lots of time for Mason. Wide open. Hervey's got the ball at the 9-yard line.
Well, they are just making the secondary of the Saskatchewan Roughriders look very inept right now. They're finding openings, and Kevin Mason is delivering the football right on target.
The 2000 Camry, now with extra value packages that let you add all the hardware and software you want. So why surf when you can drive?
What do you get when you put a Wendy's quarter-pound single served hot off the grill so it's hot and juicy with Biggie fries and a 20-ounce drink, all for just $3.99?
You get one great lunch.
Wendy's $3.99 classic single combo. Come and get it.
I know how to
pedal. I know how to dive.
I know how to get around. I know I can ask her. I know I can be more involved in my investments.
Deal Direct. Get advice. Pay no commissions.
Hello, Altamira.
Think you know football? Bet on Proline.
Sean Millington again prominent on an Eskimo drive that started at their own 27-yard line.
And you know, they just give him the ball. He's just running the football hard. He keeps leg driving, just finds it. He's got a touchdown, but he not only can run the football, he's catching the football today, taking it out of the backfield, turning up. Really, he's doing everything. He's blocking. He is earning his paycheck today.
Here's a guy with over 3,000 yards rushing in his career, close to 2,000 receiving. Mason, the out, and it's through the hands of Ashley, who tried to climb the ladder to bring it down.
But the secondary of Saskatchewan is playing so soft right now that had Mason dropped that football just a little lower in altitude, it would have been a completion. Look at this offensive line working. I'm telling you, Leroy Blue, he might have to switch, because I tell you what, good offensive linemen come from playing defense, and he's got great feet, and I'm telling you, the offensive line coach is going to look at him and say, maybe you should change your number and come back over on our side.
And Mason has been afforded all kinds of time. That was just his third miss in 11 attempts. And now it's second and goal from the 8. Here comes the rush into the end zone. Hervey, touchdown!
To go to Hervey. Hervey comes from the slot position. Vincent Donaldson tries to jam him off the line. You can't. What happens when he does jam him? The guy beats him, gets distance, bam. When they're going to drop the ball, as we run the play here, the quarterback is going to come back and set. 81 is going to run. There's going to be a jam. As we get the jam, he gets separation. Why does he get separation? Because Vincent Donaldson, 24, freezes his feet. As he freezes his feet, 81 Ed Hervey takes him deep, makes a nice catch, and another touchdown for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Touchdown number 5 for Hervey. 3 have come against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Don Matthews told us that when he started, he was a track guy playing football. He's now a football player with a nice track background.
That's our playoff spot, baby. That's our playoff spot, Winnipeg.
Eskimos with a big first half lead.
We're gonna take this one, baby. Fight to the finish.
Meet Jonathan, a War Amps champ. He lost his leg in a lawnmower accident when he was 3. Now he warns other kids to play safe. Jonathan thanked the Alouettes and the CFL for their support of the Play Safe program.
Spot the danger before you play. Play safe.
Play safe.
Ed Hervey with a couple of catches in that scoring drive. 9 plays. They move at 83 for the score.
Oh, just a nice job of getting open. Mason just going to sit right there, sit in the backfield, throw the football up. Ed Hervey really does what a good receiver does. He beats the jam of Vincent Donaldson, and he gets separation from the defender. Mason throws it where it has to be. Comes down with a nice catch by Ed Hervey, and Mason celebrates, because I tell you what, a guy that's only known for running the football is having one heck of a day throwing the football today, Chris.
It's our day today, baby. It's our day today.
Looks like it has been so far. 17-1 Edmonton with the lead over Saskatchewan. Winless on the road in 1999. They need a big play. Here's Mayfield. And he gets it up to the 45-yard line. That's where the Riders go back to work on offense.
Cold weather? That's why you'll love starting your car with the remote car starter. This week, just $99.99. Canadian Tire, still the right place.
Mentioned that the Riders winless this year on the road, and they have won just 7 times away from Taylor Field in the past 5 years.
But the only thing they were kind of excited about was the fact that Edmonton was only 1-7 at home, so they figured, hey, if we got a shot, this is the place.
Sarkisian pump fake. They're going to Reggie Jones, streaking down the sidelines, and Reggie Jones is gone. They call him gold medal. He went to the Olympics in '96, and he just went 65 yards to the end zone.
Well, 2 things happened, Chris. One, that offensive line has got to give the quarterback, Steve Sarkisian, time to pump fake. They do that. And as you say, Reggie Jones does a nice job of stopping and going, and he just beats Torrey Hunter by about 20 feet. The ball's laid right on him, and once he got his hands on a football, nobody's going to catch the former track star from Louisiana State University.
Already 4 100-yard receiving games, and he gets 65 on his first catch today. That's his 3rd touchdown. And the Roughriders get back in it. Really a 1-play offensive first half for the Roughriders, but Reggie Jones gives them some life.
Well, that's it. You know what? I couldn't put it. That's the word right there, life, Chris. The way they've been playing right now on defense, they've been on the field way too long. Their offense hasn't done anything. But on this play, the pump fake by Sarkisian allows him to freeze Torrey Hunter. And as you say, Reggie Jones gets behind him. And when he gets his hands on the rock, baby, he's taking it all away. And no one's going to touch him. He's got some speed, some serious speed.
Dr. Sarkisian yesterday about Jones and what an impact player he can be. There's the perfect pump fake.
And all day to throw the football. I mean, you got to give the offensive line and Sean Daniels credit for allowing that to happen right there. If the pressure gets him, he has no time to pump fake, and that play is null and void. Good job by the O-line. Good job by the fullback.
Well, we talked about the speed in the receiving corps of Saskatchewan today. He's the fastest guy on the team. World-class speed and an Olympic triple jumper for the United States. They call him gold medal. He didn't win a gold medal, but well, he's a guy that has international athletic ability.
I think after that play, when he went to the sidelines, they gave him a gold medal. He's pretty excited. You know, this is a guy, you know, Cal Murphy, they've got to start signing some of these guys up for the future, because they've got a real talented receiving corps coming in. And, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with Donald Narcisse as far as how long he'll keep playing. So you got to keep the young ones around.
Short kick, and the ball out of bounds right at midfield. So Saskatchewan trying to pull out some tricks here. That one unsuccessful as we join Mark.
Chris, here's what's coming up on the Canadian Airlines halftime show. Cal Murphy, you know, he's in his late 60s now, and people still take him for granted when they see him on the sidelines, but he's still coaching with the heart of another person beating inside. Cal Murphy, 7 years after his heart transplant, coming up at the half. Chris will have his pro tips with the Gizmo, brought to you by Dodge, and of course, we'll have the first half highlights live at the half. Chris?
Yeah, you'll want to see the Cal Murphy feature. There's vintage Cal. He's heated up on the sidelines.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen Cal not get heated up. He has such a passion for this football game. People don't understand. He sleeps. When he was out of coaching for a while, he didn't know it. He had to get up every morning at 6, and he'd go and walk for 3 hours just to vent. He needed to do something, and I know he's the happiest he's ever been coaching again.
Cal, of course, an Edmonton Eskimo assistant, 78-82. He's on one side of Hugh Campbell.
Look at the young, look at that. Look how young he is. Look at this hair. Woo, I tell you what, they look like the Beatles.
That, of course, during the Dynasty days. Don Matthews back on the Edmonton sidelines. Well, Moore was shaken up, and he is making his way to the Rider bench.
And a big stand by the Saskatchewan defense right now, Chris. After that big score by their offense, they cannot allow Edmonton to move the ball down and get any more points. They've got to play tough right now.
2:27 remaining first half. Last 3 possessions for Edmonton have produced 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They fake the hitch one way and swing it to Diebert left side. Scott Diebert dragged down at the 45 near a first down.
Nice play selection again. One of the things we have to mention is, you know, the quarterbacks, they call their own plays. This is something that's really important. Don Matthews really feels that the quarterback should be the one that orchestrates what goes on out there because he's actually involved in the action. And you gotta like the way that Kevin Mason's calling this game. He's stretching the defense vertically and he's going side to side horizontally, and he's handing it off to the big horse, the Diesel, Sean Millington.
Dieter Brock in the foreground, the man sending in offensive suggestions. Second and short, and Mason takes a couple of steps forward to get the first down as the Riders try to dig it loose. When Kevin Mason came in for the first time in the rematch after Labor Day against Calgary, he really struggled. He joined the Edmonton Eskimos late, had trouble with their offensive scheme, and wanted some help with the play selection, so they implemented a system of sending in plays from Don Matthews to Mason. But now with that wristband, he is able to call his own plays a lot more comfortably, and we're seeing the results.
I think that's a sign of a real pro, Chris, a guy that says, you know what, I'm not comfortable. I don't have the whole playbook down yet. Give me some help. Let me execute. You do the thinking.
First down, Mason couldn't find anybody that time, and he's taken down just past the line of scrimmage. Arkell Trulock. And a wave of Saskatchewan Roughriders on the tackle.
A nice job of the secondary, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, taking away the receivers. Kevin Mason wants to go somewhere. He can't. Takes a look. Everybody's dropping. You can see all the guys are all up here. They're all back here right now. He wants to throw the ball right behind, but the linebackers are all right there. He can't throw it. He can't get it to Donnie Ashley. As a result, he's sacked, and it's 2nd and 8.
Long out, and it is complete there. Fred Bailey the catch. Donaldson arguing the call. It is short of a first down, and that's why they're going to try and get Donaldson away from the official. They're going to watch the replay on the board, and we're going to take another look at that replay. It wasn't a catch.
No, it wasn't. I think that Arkell Trulock acting a little bit like a referee right there as you see the ball coming into your bottom of your screen right now. What you can't see on that replay is that the ball actually does hit the ground as he tries to cradle it.
I've heard some coaches being critical. There's the ball on
you can just see it right there, hitting the ground right there. Good call by the defense. Unfortunately, the referee disagreed with you.
So the catch ruled gives Edmonton a chance to kick this field goal from 43 yards out. Heard the suggestion from coaches. The officials now are starting to take a look at that replay and make the call after they see a replay, which might be an indication that the league should consider video replay.
Well, you know what? It might not be a bad thing, Chris, on a real situation, say in a Grey Cup game or a playoff game, where much like our fellow counterparts south of the border, it doesn't affect the outcome of a football game. It does nothing like losing when you really did nothing wrong, or you have a call go against you that should never went against you. So I think maybe they should look at having maybe one replay a half per team and really look at it in the playoffs.
Well, this, from our replays, clearly indicates it hit the ground. It was trapped.
Well, you can see, as you freeze it right there, you can see there's the ball right there, and there's the ground right there. It hits the ground.
But because it was ruled a catch, Edmonton got field position for the field goal by Fleming. Whittle over the middle, and Whittle hurdling and then hammered in midair as he got near midfield. Big collision, and Chris Hardy, the safety.
Well, they seem to have picked up some life after that touchdown by Reggie Jones on the last drive by Saskatchewan. This is a little dump pass over the middle to Ricky Whittle. But I like to say, look at that. He hurdles over Eric Edwards. I know I'm going to take a shot, but I'm going to get what I have to get.
18 yards on that pickup, but now a catch by Gulliford, stepping out at the Eskimo 52. We've got 56 seconds to go in the first half. A 12-point Eskimo lead, but Saskatchewan, as you mentioned, gaining momentum.
Well, as you say, they're finding something, and that's what happens when a quarterback gets into a rhythm. He's getting a rhythm with the receivers right there. Nice job of getting it, but what they didn't show was that Ricky Whittle, after the last nice run, came backside and blocked two blitzing linebackers, allowing Sarkisian time to throw that football.
2nd and 5. That would have been the second interception against the Riders this afternoon. And Gass let that one slip through his fingertips.
Good protection by the offensive line. He's sitting back there and looking. He knows where he wants to go. He tries to touch pass that football down to Eric Gulliford. But as you say, A.J. Gass, great job of reading it, staying just in front of the receiver, and probably should have came up with that interception.
10-yard line!
So it's third down. And McCallum in to punt. Gizmo awaiting the punt from McCallum, but McCallum's been kicking away from him. And he does so again, angling this one out. And we'll see where they mark it. It looks like the 12-yard line. So McCallum backs them up with 43 seconds to play.
Well, that's a nice kick by Paul McCallum. He tried it earlier, just missed the coffin corner, got a single point as a result, but this time he puts it down, and more importantly, keeps the ball out of Gizmo Williams' hands, who has the potential every time he touches the pigskin to take it all away.
So Mason's number one job, and perhaps his only job here, is to kill the clock without giving the football away with 43 seconds left. And the Eskimos backed up. They're not going to take any chances, you wouldn't think, with a 12-point lead.
Well, I still think I got the horse, I got the diesel back there, Millington. I'm still going to give him the football.
That's what they do. To the 15, Dan Rashovich, the veteran linebacker in his 16th year at age 38. He'll turn 39 next month. Makes the tackle, and talked to him prior to the game. He's still weighing his options for next year.
Well, you know, one of the things that's happened, Chris, with him is the fact that he's not playing on a regular basis anymore. He plays special teams, comes in spot duty a linebacker. As a result, his body's probably fresher than it has been for a few years, therefore lengthening what could be another year of his career.
And in the top 10 once again this year in special teams tackles. Here's Mason, right side. Kevin Mason to get close to the first down. He is wrestled down, though, by the safety, Curtis Gallick. Just short. Dozen seconds left as we join Mark.
Chris, Terry Vaughn has left the field and gone into the Eskimo locker room to have his shoulder looked at by the Eskimo medical staff. He injured it on the last catch he made in that last drive, and they think it's not too serious, and he could be back in the second half.
Well, he's their 1,000-yard receiver. I have a measurement here. Looked like Mason came up about a yard short. Well, it's less than that.
And that's one of the things, you know, you wonder what more could go wrong. Donnie Matthews elaborating on this yesterday, talking about the fact that this is the first year he's ever had to deal with so many injuries. He said in one way it's made us stronger because we really found out about our depth. But he says we just keep losing key personnel at key times of the year.
Well, in 3 straight days this week, Chris, he found out that he'd lost Mills and then Fogle. There's Hugh Campbell on the sidelines with Matthews. And the next day, they seem to be debating something here, what to do on third down. And the signal's going into the huddle. And then Doug Peterson making it 3 in 3 days for the Eskimos. They hope Vaughn's injury is not serious.
And it's just, I mean, we're talking 3 key personnel as well.
Well, they're gambling it. And if they don't make it, Saskatchewan may get a free crack. And Mason pushes forward behind that line to get the first down. They're stopped there. 9 seconds gives Saskatchewan maybe one shot at the end zone, and certainly time to kick a field goal.
I agree with you there, but I also agree with the call. I think the way the offensive lineman of the Edmonton Eskimos will be coming off the ball and pushing the defensive lineman of the Saskatchewan Roughriders back, it's not really a call. You know you're going to get it. It's almost, you just know it. Just take it. Get the quarterback sneak, get big Kevin Mason behind him, tuck the ball away, just don't lose the football. That's the biggest thing, remember, when you're doing that. Sometimes the ball can come out and you have a very big turnover at an inopportune time.
No time left, the knee down, and the Edmonton Eskimos trying to snap a 6-game losing streak on home field. We'll head to the locker room at halftime here against the Saskatchewan Roughriders with a lead of 20-8 after 30 minutes.
CFL on CBC, Canadian Airlines halftime show. Brought to you by Canadian Airlines, official airline of the CFL and the 1999 Grey Cup.
Let's go easy with seat 3J. He's coming up a 6-hour meeting. Roger. We have initial head bob. Push back on my mark. And mark. Lights out. And we are go for tuck-in. Roger, tuck-in. And 3J is out. That's a wrap. Nice work, everybody. Moving to 4F.
Jill, someone at the front for you.
Dad, is everything all right?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Me? Yeah, no, I'm fine.
I want to take you to lunch.
Oh, I don't know, Dad, today.
Come on, we won't be long.
The warmth of home is at Tim Hortons. Enjoy your favorite Tim's Own sandwich with one of our hearty home-style soups, always made fresh and fast for you.
This was a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
Okay, who is ING Direct for? Well, it's for people who want to save time and money. And who doesn't? You don't have to change banks. You pick up the phone, tell us what you want to do, save, borrow, invest. And because you're banking by phone, you earn higher interest on your savings, pay less on loans, and we won't make you pay service charges. You're doing the banking. Call 1-800-ING Direct. Save your money.
Hi, Ted.
Morning.
Oh, I need to see you in my office in 5 minutes. Karen, Sue, meeting in my office, 3 minutes. Jim, meeting my office right now. I won't waste any time, so I will get right to the point. We're all getting a big raise from Lotto 649. We're millionaires! Just imagine!
Back in sunny Edmonton for the Canadian Airlines halftime show, where the home team, the Eskimos, lead the Saskatchewan Roughriders 20-8 at the half. Well, Cal Murphy's team has missed the playoffs this year, and who knows, his job as head coach of the Roughriders could be in jeopardy too. But each year, each day, Cal Murphy counts his blessings because he's the luckiest man alive. Alive and ticking with a transplanted heart 7 years ago. Cal Murphy is in the midst of perhaps his most difficult season as a coach. But for a man who has looked death squarely in the eye, a losing streak pales by comparison.
You know, I like coaching, and I enjoyed it the last 2 years as well. And so coaching is coaching as far as I'm concerned. Is there something else in life?
It's been 7 years now since Cal Murphy laid on an operating table, kept alive only by a machine. His own heart had failed for good, a transplant his only hope.
They did the emergency bypass, but the heart wouldn't go again. And, you know, they started the operation 11:30 in the morning, and there's no heart in sight. And by 6 o'clock or somewhere in there, they found one. And you talk about miracles.
Well, right now, I'd like to thank all the people who sent along their good wishes over the past season, because, believe me, it really helped my recovery and was a tremendous help to my family. You know, I guess you look at it, and you know how close you were and so forth, you know. And, like, I remember taking this off, you know, and saying, am I going to see God or am I going to see Joyce? You know, that type of thing. And, you know, I just think that you appreciate things around you a lot more.
Cal Murphy, now in his 60s, was back in charge with a new heart. But within 3 years, empathy gave way to the cruel world of football. He was fired in Winnipeg. Not ready for a rocking chair, he was back again in Regina.
I really do enjoy it, believe me. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. You know, that's just the way it is. If you enjoy something, you know what? I don't know what I'd do.
Today, Murphy donates his time to encourage people to donate their organs. To this, he owes his life.
I don't think enough people think about it. I think they often think, my organs aren't any good or anything like that, but they are. And, you know, the other thing is sometimes people have to be asked. And I know in my case, the family was asked. You live every day, you thank God for it, and also the people that were responsible for it.
Cal Murphy still puts in 12-hour days, and this was the scene just before kickoff today as he enjoyed some stories with a former coaching mate, Hugh Campbell, here in Edmonton. At the half, the Eskimos in front of Saskatchewan, 20-8.
I'm Buzz, and
I'm Shirley Muzzolini.
And that's Shirley.
We're people. We switched the autos to State Farm because I was tired of punching numbers. We dial a 1-800 number, hit an asterisk, hit a pound sign, and never did know who we were talking to.
They don't have to hit a pound sign to talk to me.
When I need to call my agent at State Farm, he knows who I am, and I know who he is.
Buzz. I can talk to Gary like a friend.
I even insure their golf cart.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Jimmy Rig, Hong Kong, Viet, Con, Cap Young. I'm Cliff Chatterton. In the War Amps Never Again video series, the stories are told by the Canadian volunteers who were there. Learn about the Newfoundlanders and Gallipoli, the murder of 130 Canadian POWs in Normandy, the award of a U.S. presidential citation to a Canadian regiment in Korea. The War Amps, preserving Canada's military heritage.
Cellular service not available.
Extreme, now playing at the Canadian Museum of Civilization's IMAX OmniMax Theater.
Pro Tips with Chris Waldy. Brought to you by Dodge.
Hey, welcome to Pro Tips. Hey, can you say excitement? Can you even spell it? I know I can't. But with me today is one of the most electrifying players ever to play in the CFL, Mr. Henry Gizmo Williams.
Thank you there, Big Chris. Obviously, you saw the game last week. I don't have to keep saying it over and over again, but I am the greatest kick returner that ever stepped in the CFL. And I like to show you fans how I get the chance to do this all the time. All right, Scott, let's hit it, baby. So first of all, when I'm on the football field, the first thing I look for, I have to find out where I'm at on the football field. So when the guy kicks the ball off, I want to be probably maybe on the 15-yard line or the 20-yard line. It all depends if I'm indoors or outdoors. I'm outdoors, I want to be probably about on the 20-yard. If I'm indoors, I want to be on the 15-yard line. So this is what it's going to look like right here. Scott Deeber is one of the guys that I look for when I'm first running the ball down the football field. As Samir come down the field, when I'm running, Scott shields this man off. Now, he gives me a chance whichever way I want to go. He blocks the guy. If he block him another way, I go this way. If he turn him around the other side, then I make the cut on this side over here. And that's the obvious of going down the field, making a great play. A lot of times, you see a lot of guys go down there, you get a penalty call sometime, but that's going to happen. But the most important thing, I have to make sure everybody gets their man.
Great tip. And that's why when you're one of 11 or 12 kids, you better be able to use this technique, open field breaking tackles, if you ever want to get to the dinner table. See you next time.
Well, the Gizmo can talk as fast as he can run, gobbling up about half of our Canadian Airlines halftime show with his pro tips this afternoon. His Eskimos leading Saskatchewan 20-8 at the half, and the Eskimos, of course, desperate to keep pace with Winnipeg for that third and final playoff spot here in the West. With their first half analysis, let's go to the booth now and rejoin Chris and Chris.
I think Walby better keep his head up or there'll be Gizmo pro tips. That was pretty good.
Hey, that was very good.
You know, that first half, Chris, a 12-point lead for Edmonton. That score almost flatters Saskatchewan. It could have been worse.
Well, it really does. I mean, if it wasn't for Saskatchewan getting that touchdown in the second quarter to Reggie Jones, I mean, it's all Edmonton. I mean, when you look at the fact that they've only got 17 plays total against 39. Time of possession almost double. I mean, you got to do something to shake your guys up at halftime, or else it's going to be a long second half.
Take a look at the first half highlights. Remember, Edmonton in their wins has done the job running the football, and they started with an interception by Eric Edwards, and that's been a familiar story in Saskatchewan this season.
Well, it's a nice job of getting them to killing the drive early, and of course, the story of the first half is Sean Millington and that big offensive lineman. All he's doing is just taking the ball north-south, nothing fancy, running over, but you know what? He's running to Willie Pless. They're going to be exchanging Christmas cards. This is the place. First half.
Sarkisian pump fake.
Sarkisian.
They're going to Reggie
big
Jones.
Play. Second quarter to save. 65 yards. If it wasn't for this play, I tell you what, the first half highlight stats for Saskatchewan will be god-awful.
Yeah, and Sean Millington's were outstanding. He really was the player in the first half, although you can't argue with Don Matthews' decision of going with Kevin Mason as the starting quarterback in half number one. So the Eskimos with the lead. Let's go down to Mark.
Well, Chris, from the Gizmo to the Klingon, and it appears the Empire interested in a CFL franchise as well. Eskimos leading Saskatchewan 20-8 as we get set to return with the second half kickoff at Commonwealth Stadium right after this.
Heads up, Canada. M&M Meat Shops wants to send you and a friend to the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Just fill out a ballot at your local M&M Meat Shops location to enter and find out why it's the place to stock up on all your party food items. You could win one of 4 trips for 2, including flights, accommodation, and 2 gold-level tickets to the final Grey Cup of the century, courtesy of M&M Meat Shops, where there's hundreds of party food ideas in just one aisle. M&M Meat Shops and the Grey Cup. Let the party begin.
All the year long, I wait for this moment. When the time is right, the season festive. When we take in the colors and share the harvest. When we taste and toast the fruits of the land.
Santé! And here's to fall and more to discover.
Extreme, now playing at the Canadian Museum of Civilization's IMAX OmniMax Theatre.
Okay, who is ING Direct for? Well, it's for people who want to save time and money. And who doesn't? You don't have to change banks. You pick up the phone, tell us what you want to do, save, borrow, invest. And because you're banking by phone, you earn higher interest on your savings, pay less on loans, and we won't make you pay service charges. You're doing the banking. Call 1-800-ING Direct. Save your money.
The CFL on CBC, Canadian Airlines Halftime Show. Brought to you by Canadian Airlines, official airline of the CFL and the 1999 Grey Cup.
To start the second half at Commonwealth Stadium. The Edmonton Eskimos needing a victory to keep pace with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. There's Ricky Whittle back to accept the opening kickoff of the second half.
And Chris, this is where we're going to see what kind of adjustments the Saskatchewan Roughriders have made at halftime, because they got to make some to get back into this football game.
Curtis Mayfield. Up to the 36-yard line. Here's the most astounding stat of the year. In the 7 straight Saskatchewan losses, Chris, in the third quarter, they've been outscored 76-1. 1 point in the third quarter in the last 7 weeks. It's hard to believe.
Well, that just throws my theory about making adjustments working for you, because if you're coming out after the half and you're getting outscored, obviously you're confused as to what the coaching staff is trying to get you to do as you come back out to play that third quarter.
I mean, it's so unbelievable. I thought it was a misprint. We went through the games 9 times. Here's a long out, and it's caught. There's Donald Narcisse with catch now successfully in 215 consecutive games. So the beat goes on for Narcisse, but he's been a much quieter factor this year.
Well, he certainly has. I mean, he's not their go-to guy anymore. You know, I think his production has come down every year, but he's still a guy that they know if they need one catch out of him, they can get it to him. A lot of people are kind of saying, you know what, they're just throwing him the one easy catch every game just to keep the streak alive. Listen, the coaching staff wants to play to win. They're not there just to put a guy in there for being nice. And you can see right there the number from 1288 and 95 to 532 and 99. But the thing about Don Narcisse, he says, if they would throw me the ball more, I'd catch more. Right now, I'm just not the go-to guy in this offense.
915th catch of his distinguished career, 13 years in Saskatchewan. But this year, it has been a struggle. No 100-yard games in 99.
What we call heavy plug.
But over the years, we've enjoyed watching number 80, who has come up with so many clutch catches. 95 last year, 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and now they push ahead to get the initial first down of the second half. Let's take a look at the halftime stats.
Exactly, Chris. I mean, this is the thing. But look, I mean, what's the first thing you notice? Look at these numbers. 4, these single-digit numbers right here. That scares the heck out of me right there. 4 to 18 first downs, 7 yards rushing to Millington, 92. I mean, time of possession almost double. That's got to change in the second 30 minutes, or it's going to be a long flight home.
Of course, Saskatchewan missing Mike Saunders. Here's Sarkisian rolling left side, and that one nearly picked off. The 3 closest men to the ball, all wearing green and gold.
Well, I don't know what he was looking at that particular play, because Sarkisian sets to throw the football. Donald Narcisse has found the hole in the zone. He's just sitting down. He wants to get the football. The ball is not thrown there, as we see Steve Sarkisian getting up very slowly after taking a shot after releasing his football. Just a half roll to the left. Sees the guy, throws the football, and then, of course, pays the price by Brown. Just Robert Brown just knocks him down to the ground, and you can see a little bit of grimace of pain right there. And the trainer's out there taking a look at him, making sure he's okay.
Robert Brown rocking Sarkisian, and John Rayborn immediately gets up. Remember, Mark mentioned in the first half Reggie Slack dressed, but not available for duty this afternoon.
A revolutionary new engine. Revolutionary new space. A revolutionary new car. Introducing the Toyota Echo. Find out what all the noise is about.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sarkisian still trying to shake off the effects of that big Robert Brown hit. Still in a learning curve here in his 3rd year, and he talked about getting a chance to talk shop with Danny McManus this week. The Hamilton Tiger Cats staying over in Regina in advance of their game against the BC Lions. It may have been just hitting the back of his head in that hit from Brown.
100% right, Chris. I mean, that's exactly. The shot was not that serious by Robert Brown, but the impact of him hitting his head back as he jars it on the ground. And remember, we're in October. It's a beautiful day, but the ground still gets a little harder. So, I mean, it's like pounding a little bit off your driveway.
They talked about how beneficial the chat was with McManus, who encouraged him that you go through the rough times when you're a young quarterback. Everybody has, and that was the same message he got last week when he got to talk shop with Kid Austin, who was honored by the Roughriders last Sunday. So Rayborn in, 2nd and 10. Langhorns' first pass will fall incomplete. He was looking for Jones on the near sideline. And Torrey Hunter in coverage for Edmonton.
Well, what's this thing you're going to do? You got a new quarterback in. Let's bring the house, or make it even look like we're going to bring the house. They just line up 7 guys. They drop 3. Look at how many guys we got here. We got 7 guys coming as we roll the clip. 3 linebackers are dropping. Now the linemen got to find out who we got to help. Good pressure again. Eric Johnson getting up there, disrupting the throwing lane of John Rayborn.
Well, Paul McCallum did not kick. Well, actually, 40.5 is not a bad average. But even better is he limited the Eskimo returners to 2 yards in that first half by kicking the ball away from the Giz. This time he'll get a chance. See what Henry does with it. Up to the 25-yard line. With an update from the sidelines, here's Mark.
Well, Chris, Terry Vaughn is lost to the Eskimos for the rest of the game. It appears he has a slight shoulder separation, so rather than put him in harm's way, he is out, and that is bad news for Edmonton. We are checking now on the status of Steve Sarkisian. We'll have that for you momentarily.
Boy, the injuries mount for Don Matthews.
Oh, you can see just in this first half, he just gets hit, and as he goes down on the shoulder, he gets up. You're not going to notice much, but as he starts walking, you're going to see he walks to deeper. Now he starts shaking his shoulder, almost like it's bugging him, like he's trying to shake out a kink. And you can just see him. He's trying to pop it back out right now, and that's, of course, when you go back and you say, hey, my shoulder's stiff, the coaching staff right away is going to take a look at it.
Here's Mason rolling out. Trulock hanging off him, and the pass delivered incomplete. And they're calling for a flag down there. Trulock felt he was being held at one point.
Well, that's just a nice job of Trulak, not allowing Kevin Mason to get to the outside. This is where he wants to go. He wants to get out here, but he can't because number 98 is right there, got the grass, beat the block, and limits it and makes him throw the football away. And again, very lucky that he didn't get called for grounding the football.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the Edmonton 24-yard line. Mason flushed outside by Trulock again, and now Scribner drawing a beat on him, and the pass picked off, and it is an interception, the 2nd of the game. Shannon Garrett along the sidelines takes the ball away. Donnie Ashley, the intended receiver.
Well, nice job of Shannon Garrett coming back on this play to pick off the football.
This is our art. We sculpt in metal, paint in G-forces. You won't find our work in museums, for we are artists of the streets. Our art places form in harmony with function, moves body and soul. Cars are our passion. Engineering is our art. Acura.
From BF Goodrich. At last, a winter tire that grips to ice and bites into snow like nothing else. Slalom from BF Goodrich. Because Canadian winters aren't fit for man or beast.
Well, the beleaguered Saskatchewan secondary has its 2nd pick of the afternoon. Kevin Mason, picked off by Shannon Garrett, has given Saskatchewan great field position.
Well, just again a situation of the defense forcing the throw. They force Kevin Mason to get outside on the run. They got Colin Scribner all over him. He throws the ball sidearm. A nice job of breaking on the football by 16, Shannon Garrett, who comes up, as you say, with the second interception of the game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
John Rayborn in, relieving the injured Steve Sarkisian, and he gives the ball to Ricky Whittle. Left side, following the block of John Terry, and lunging over the 35 to the 33, and let's get an update on Sarkisian from Mark Lee.
Chris, Steve Sarkisian banged the back of his head on the turf and also injured his neck. He's a little bit woozy, but trainer Ivan Gutfried says he is ready for service and can go in at any time.
All right, we'll watch for that. Rayborn making just his third appearance for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Played in Week 5, part-time against Hamilton, and in Week 14 against Montreal. And on 2nd and 3, the carry is Sean Daniels close to a first down, and we've got an injured Eskimo.
Well, they're giving a little bit of their own medicine right now. Just handing the football, power ball it is. Let him get what he can. Sean Daniels, almost a clone of Millington, big guy at 6 foot, 235 pounds. He just pounds away in there.
Grant Carter getting attention. And this would be another devastating blow for the Eskimos.
The cold weather, that's why you'll love starting your car with the remote car starter. This week, just $99.99. Canadian Tire, still the right place.
Grant Carter has become one of the key guys on the Edmonton Eskimo defense, and now he's getting attention.
Well, they're just going to come inside and try and find it. And oh, that's not pretty. You might want to close your eyes when you see that one again. He catches the heel right in a tender area. And needless to say, that'll slow you down for a few series.
So Grant still trying to catch his breath?
Well, I think he's trying to catch his breath, indeed. The lights are out. And boxing, they call that a low blow. But it's just one of those unfortunate things. He's coming off the corner, and you can't control. It's almost like hockey when you're in a corner and a skate comes up and unfortunately catches you and cuts you a little bit.
There's that offensive lineman you were talking about. Leroy Blue comes in with Carter. They always try to get a fresh guy off the edge in this Edmonton defense, and Blue and Carter have been shuttled in and out.
Well, I think if you're going into playoffs and you got this kind of a rotation, this kind of personnel, this kind of depth, I mean, you got to be excited. And you know what? We talked to these guys yesterday in practice. Here's a team that is on the verge of not making the playoffs, and they're playing golf. In the pre-game warm-up, or the game warm-up yesterday, and they're having fun. They put the fake golf ball for Henry Gizmo Williams. He hits it, it pops up, they all laugh. They got such great chemistry, and they come off the field, and the first thing they say is, boy, are we going to be a force in the playoffs? These guys truly believe.
Good to see Grant got a smile on his face as he goes to the sidelines. Third and a couple of feet, and they push it ahead for the first down. Grant feeling Blue, and the Eskimos going with Blue to replace him.
Well, yeah. And we can tell his wife Caroline at home that everything's okay. He'll be fine.
Right now, everything not fine for the Eskimos. Saskatchewan is threatening here. The ball at the Edmonton 30, first down for Saskatchewan. Trying to cut into a 12-point deficit. Ricky Whittle. Outside of Whittle has another first down. He's to the 14.
Well, I tell you what, he's carried the ball a few times the first half, and he really never got a chance to explode. But boy, does he come out of the blocks here. He gets his hand off, and he's going 100 miles an hour right now. Look at this great read and a reaction. Find a block. Gulliford downfield trying to help him out a little bit. Nice job of running at the point of attack by the offensive line. And Ricky Whittle finding the hole.
2,400 yards in his career at Oregon. He's got the ball again. Leaps for a couple down to the 12-yard line.
And that's the second time we've seen him leave his feet. He's going to take some shots, but you got to like the kid's attitude right now. He gets the football, he sees a pile up, he's going to hop the pile. He might have a little hurdling experience back in his college days.
The other thing they like about Whittle, he's an excellent blocker. They say that's the one edge he gives Saskatchewan as opposed to Saunders. So 2nd and 8 from the Edmonton 12. Rayborn, quick delivery, and incomplete, but a flag goes down. Cease, the intended receiver, and Eric Edwards is going to argue the call that will give Saskatchewan an automatic first down.
Well, they may argue the call, but I tell you what, it never changes the referee's mind. If he's made the call, it's just a question if he's going to call it offense or defense. That's the only thing he can change on.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton, number 27. First down, Saskatchewan.
Well, they call it indeed on Eric Edwards, who just comes inside. Don Narcisse just going to do a little slant inside to the middle. Eric Edwards just gets his hands on him, and referee watching right there, throws the flag and felt that Eric Edwards kind of turned him around a little bit. You can see him right there at the bottom.
George Black made the call and then got an earful from Hugh Campbell, who's down on the sidelines and parked himself right by the official. First and goal. Whittle near the goal line and driven back.
Well, A.J. Gass, that's a nice job of your middle linebacker filling the hole, because at the point of attack, Saskatchewan's offensive line creates the seam. Ricky Whittle sees the seam. He gets into the back. Bang! A.J. Gass comes up. Look, there's the hole. But number 41 and Justin Ring say, no way, we'll have none of that today. Just a nice job of filling the hole.
Don Matthews yesterday talked about the great instincts A.J. Gass has. Second and goal from the one. Option, Whittle. Trying to get to the pylon, doesn't do it. He's short. It'll be third and goal from the one.
Well, they try a little option play themselves. This is one of Saskatchewan's best play. Reggie Slack's the guy that really likes to run it, and the reason he does it so well is because he's such a horse. John Rayburn here pitches it, sees the guy, gives it the ball to Ricky Whittle. Now it becomes a foot race, and Charles Assman takes him down at the 1 yard line, and now you got 3rd and 1, baby, and it's time to put it all on the line.
Assman went out earlier, shaken up, but it makes a big play. Terry Ray slowed him up. 3rd and goal for the one. Whittle, touchdown, Saskatchewan.
Touchdown, Roughriders.
And the Saskatchewan Roughriders are right back in it.
Nice job of moving the football, albeit aided by a pass interference call against Eric Edwards. But Ricky Whittle finishes it off with his patented leap over to find the pay dirt of the end zone. And as you say now, we have a football game with an extra point coming. A 21 or 20-15 game. Don't leave your seats yet.
And they get their first major score in 7 weeks in the 3rd quarter. John Rayburn picking up for Steve Sarkisian, who was in as the holder there. Whittle with the touchdown.
A revolutionary new engine. A revolutionary new space. A revolutionary new car. Introducing the Toyota Echo. Find out what all the noise is about.
Point Spread now has even better payoffs. Face it, we're a lot bigger than you're used to. So bet Point Spread Football. New Point Spread Football.
After 3 years of development, 300 scientific studies, and with 23 patents filed, comes a breakthrough in dental care. Introducing the revolutionary Oral-B Cross Action. Its unique crisscross bristles penetrate to lift out and sweep away more plaque than any other brush. Tests prove it. Now you can too. The new Cross Action toothbrush from Oral-B.
What do you get when you put a Wendy's quarter-pound single served hot off the grill so it's hot and juicy with Biggie fries and a 20-ounce drink, all for just $3.99?
You get one great lunch.
Wendy's $3.99 classic single combo. Come and get it.
11-year veteran Sean Daniels, who played in his 150th game last week, leading Ricky Whittle into the end zone.
Well, I tell you, just a great job as we run it. You're going to see this is the block right there. Sean Daniels gets him and blocks Justin Ring, number 36, allowing the seam, and Ricky Whittle takes full advantage of that and plops into the end zone airborne. Nice job of the offensive line, but a great block by Sean Daniels.
Touchdown set up by the Shannon Garrett interception. And now Donnie Ashley had some trouble fielding the kickoff, but no trouble returning it. Directing his blockers, and out to the 35.
Well, the fans are a little excited here because after the last drive of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it puts them right back in the football game again. They want to kind of inspire their team. Let's not go in a tank, guys. We got the lead. Let's go back to what worked in the first half. Let's give the ball. Let's get Millington back involved in the game and allow Kevin Mason the time to throw the football successfully down the field.
Chris, in 4 of their wins, Edmonton's gone over 200 yards rushing. They've averaged in their 5 wins over 230 yards rushing. And yet, you're right, it seems like they've abandoned the ground game a bit in the second half. Mason will go on the ground, and not much there as he gets across the 35, maybe a yard or two. Let's take a look how Saskatchewan scored their last touchdown.
What's up? Mike Williams at the house. What's up?
Well, there's the man that got it all done at the end, Ricky Whittle. Of course, started by that big runoff tackle. I mean, he just does a nice job of getting downfield. As I said, Whittle does the rest himself. He just keeps driving and driving and driving. Finally culminates it by scoring a touchdown and putting Saskatchewan back into this football game.
Ricky Whittle with 37 yards on the ground, now 2nd and 6 for Edmonton, and that pass incomplete. Fred Bailey tried to sell it as a catch, but that ball clearly was on the turf, and it's a quick 2-and-out, and you can feel Saskatchewan getting the momentum.
Well, the worst thing you can do is give the opposition any life, and that's what Edmonton's doing right now. By the fact that they've kind of abandoned the running game, they had 95 yards in the first half. Millington was just a horse, and all of a sudden they come out in the second half, and they're starting to throw the football. They're not finding any success. They tried a cute quarterback draw, didn't go anywhere. Now they're going to punt the football. But what's happening now is Saskatchewan is starting to believe in themselves a little bit. They've got some momentum going, and they can put themselves not only in the game, but take the lead.
Eric Gulliford awaiting the punt from Fleming. 6:20 to go, third quarter. 5-point Eskimo lead. 5 punt, but not deep. Gulliford to the 45. Steve Sarkisian's coming back after John Rayborn directed the last touchdown march.
Well, we'll see if Steve Sarkisian picks up anything that John Rayborn did, which was give the ball to Ricky Whittle, who really took advantage of it. The offensive line got involved. He made some great runs, setting him up for that final 1-yard touchdown plunge.
Boy, he's taken some hits this year, sacked 27 times coming into this afternoon's action. They fake to Whittle, and Sarkisian takes off. He's got a first down and into Edmonton territory. You got to admire the courage. He just got knocked out of the box and comes back with a run.
Well, I'll tell you what, not only the fake bootleg, the naked bootleg, if you would, fake the handoff to Ricky Whittle, just fake it, pull it back in. You can see 92, Robert Brown fights on that fake, but he gets outside. Nice job of blocking at the point of attack by 83, Reggie Jones. That is just a super job of knocking and keeping Eric Edwards out.
That play usually executed by Reggie Slack, but now Sarkisian makes it work. Here comes Hunter on the rush, delivered downfield and incomplete. Nice effort by Reggie Jones, who went way up. The triple jumper almost pulled that one down.
That was a nice job of putting the football where only Reggie Jones could come down with it. He put it up in the air, and if he had any doubts about what kind of side effects he might have had, Sarkisian, from hitting the head on the ground, he seems to have put those to rest.
Well, if Jones isn't going to go up to get it, nobody's going to pull it down.
That's one heck of a vertical.
2nd and 10. From the Edmonton 48, short drop, quick hitter, Mayfield. pulled down at the 42, short of the first down by the safety, Chris Hardy. And a good play there by the safety.
Good play by the safety. Good play by Saskatchewan to get Mayfield back involved. First half, he tried to throw this pass. Mayfield dropped 2 of them. They finally come back to him. Catches this football. You never got a first down, but at least you got him back in a football game. As you see Carter coming up, can't get to the quarterback. Next best thing, getting his eyesight, getting his vision.
Chris Hardy, a former high school quarterback in Edmonton and Strathcona. Kept them short of the first down, and now it's a field goal situation for Paul McCallum. He hit from 58 yards with a stiff breeze last week. And he's on the money here. And now Saskatchewan's within 2. 20-18 the score. Cal Murphy's team has the momentum in Edmonton.
A revolutionary new engine. A revolutionary new space. A revolutionary new car. Introducing the Toyota Echo. Find out what all the noise is about.
Mornings are never easy, but a hot breakfast sure helps. Start your day with McDonald's new freshly baked breakfast bagels. There's classic ham and egg, zesty Western omelet, and sizzling bacon and egg, all served on bagels we bake fresh daily.
After 3 years of development, 300 scientific studies, and with 23 patents filed, comes a breakthrough in dental care. Introducing the revolutionary Oral-B Cross Action. Its unique crisscross bristles penetrate to lift out and sweep away more plaque than any other brush. Tests prove it. Now you can too. The new Cross Action toothbrush from Oral-B.
Saskatchewan Roughriders have not won here in the regular season since '92, but who could forget '97, the Western Final. Reggie Slack in the final minute in a remarkable upset win for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. There's Kevin Mason, the backup to Reggie Slack that day, now the starting quarterback for Edmonton. I can go back to '89, that amazing upset of the 16-2 Eskimos on their way to the Grey Cup. Chris, they go back to the ground now to try and regain some momentum.
Well, I think you got to do this. You cannot abandon it. You've had so much success with it early. You cannot put it away and start changing your game plan. Again, Millington just getting the football straight ahead, finding a hole. He is a good running back. He's run for big yardage before, and the thing about him right now is he's fresh, and the leg drive is remarkable right now. He's carrying people, and the offensive lineman, I guarantee you, they're in the huddle going, run the ball.
Got 8, 2nd and 2. Millington, first down. And you can hear the pads popping. One of the officials got caught in the traffic and went down.
Well, this is not just a touch game. This isn't synchronized swimming or ballet. This is physical. This is mano on mano right here, and we're not fooling anybody. Straight ahead. You see Rasmus down there, but not before he picks the first down up. And I tell you what, there's nothing more devastating to a defensive line or linebacker to have these big 300-pound hoggies coming at you play after play after play.
That's the first down of the second half for the Eskimos. 3:24 to go in the third quarter. Something's got to give today. The Eskimos trying to snap a 6-game home losing streak. Saskatchewan's lost 7 straight overall. They fake to Millington. Mason on the bootleg. It's across the 50 and has 3 plus Rashevich combining on the tackle. The great Willie Pless came into the game with 1,228 tackles in his illustrious career.
Just a naked bootleg, and as he gets outside, who's the guy with the big block at the point of attack? Right there. Back it up just a little bit. Number 89, Leroy Blue. We talked about him maybe being an offensive lineman. Right here, does a great job. You can see him on the ground right here. I mean, that is fantastic, getting downfield, getting on a defensive line. And I tell you what, they're going to start saying, hey, Leroy, quit holding me. That's a great job, big man.
And Kevin Mason just went down. Not sure if he's hurt the leg, got up, was headed towards the huddle, and then just kind of went down. And he'll have to come out of the game. And now, the mystery was who would be the starter, who comes in to replace Mason. It's Crandall taking some snaps. He's trying to check to see if Dan Crowley's loosening up too.
Oh, you think it's going to be Crandall? He'll be in the game for sure. It'll probably just be a 3-play thing as long as it's not a serious injury to Kevin Mason. As you say, he got up, walked, and went back down, so might have just got the wind knocked out of him. You just see he's going to turn around, just tuck the ball away, kind of gets rolled rough into the ground right there.
They got the knee twisted as Rashovich is holding on, and Les made sure he wasn't going anywhere. And so Kevin Mason, who...
And you're right, Chris, because they're working. You can see right now they're working right there. They're working on that knee. They're checking for stability, lifting it up, moving it side to side to check to see if there's any movement.
And if you're wondering about Nealon Green, they tell us, is about 75–80% of the hip flexor injury. He could be back next week.
But again, we saw Terry Vaughn in the first half. He's out. Suspected slight shoulder separation. Now Kevin Mason checking, working on his knee. They're going to see if he can walk off on his own steam, put weight on it. That's the first thing they're going to check with him. Unbelievable injury situation.
Let's check in with Mark.
Chris, here's the lineup tonight for Hockey Night in Canada. Our doubleheader begins with Calgary at the Air Canada Centre to play the Maple Leafs, and the nightcap of our twin bill coming west, where the Nashville Predators will play the Canucks in Vancouver. It all begins at 6:30 Eastern with Labatt Saturday night. And Ron McLean. Chris?
Thank you, Mark. Marcus Crandall be into the game. He was the starting quarterback last week against Montreal, and Don Matthews unhappy with his inability to run the football. Crandall is passing here, and it's Millington turning it upfield and gets a first down, and this offense has been Sean Millington this afternoon.
Well, you couldn't put it any better, Chris. I mean, if they're not handing the football off to him, they're using him as a release valve, just dumping the ball over the middle, just gets the thing, catches the football, and then does what he's doing well this afternoon. Turn his shoulders north and south and running over anybody. He's not going to try and shake and bake you and make you miss. He's going to punish you. That's what you got to love about a fullback. Turned running back today, Sean Millington.
9 yards that time. Mason getting attention, the right knee. Final 2 minutes, third quarter. First down, Edmonton moving it into Saskatchewan territory. Millington, right side. Big hole. Sean Millington. Another first down. And they're back to what was working in the first half.
Well, you wondered why they went away from it. They didn't have any first downs. All of a sudden, they started handing the ball to Millington, getting him involved again, and getting the offensive line involved again. Again, nothing fancy. Give him the football, but nice move. Does a job of avoiding a tackle, and then again does what he's doing best all afternoon, and that's just running over people and picking up big yardage.
Millington, 6'2", 222. $88 yards today. He had 98 in the game against the Bombers earlier this season. Give him the ball again, and he crashes down to the 30.
And what people don't understand, these are defensive backs and linebackers making the tackles. And you know what? When you got a guy that's 230 pounds coming at you time and time again, and you got to wrap him up, then they pull it and they do a bootleg, play action pass, fake it. Everybody freezes for that split second, and you got a receiver wide open.
Once again, Willie Pless is at the other end of the tackle. Well, I remember that Grey Cup game in '94 when he was a BC Lion, and probably in his prime, Sean Millington was such a horse. for the Lions at the time in their Grey Cup winning performance. Back to the double tight end set as they reestablish the ground game and go back to Millington again.
Oh my gosh, man!
And this time it's clogged up and he's pushed back. See where they spot it. We got some tempers flaring. Leroy Blue is in the middle of it.
Well, the defensive linemen are accusing Leroy Blue of holding him right now, something that Leroy over the years has accused other offensive linemen of doing that technique, but it's amazing how fast he picks that technique up.
It is another first down for the Eskimos on the final play of the third quarter here at Commonwealth Stadium. Cal Murphy's team battling back to within 2 points of the Eskimos, and now watching the Eskimos marching downfield. And now they are ruling it is the end of 3 quarters here in Commonwealth Stadium. It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter. A 2-point Edmonton lead.
You know, there's a remarkable new tool right now at Canadian Tire that makes a lot of existing tools seem outdated. I'm talking about RoboGrip pliers from Mastercraft. You see, RoboGrip's special design allows it to self-adjust to most any size job with a simple squeeze of the handles.
That's right. No screws or levers to set. Just squeeze and turn. Plus, it's spring-loaded for one-handed operation, not like these regular pliers.
And it comes in 2 sizes, so it's perfect for most any job. Rounded nuts, pipes, flat surfaces, irregular shaped objects. And its offset head allows for easy access to those tight spots.
And RoboGrip's laminated jaw construction makes it so strong, it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The new self-adjusting Mastercraft RoboGrip is so versatile, you'll find it indispensable in your house, your garage, even in the garden. So don't wait. Get your RoboGrip pliers today. Available exclusively at Canadian Tire.
Hey, son, check it out, the Corvette.
Oh, wow.
To celebrate Harvey's 40th anniversary, someone's gonna win this classic 59 Corvette. Lots of other great prizes, too, at Harvey's.
Son, were you thinking about us in that vet?
Sort of. Hurry for a chance at the vet and the best tasting charbroiled hamburger, $1.99. Harvey's, just the way you like it.
Sean Millington, 113 all-purpose yards today as we join Mark Lee.
Kevin Mason has a twisted right knee, and at this point he's up and moving around on the sideline. The training staff here in Edmonton is going to wait and see if it'll settle down before deciding whether he'll return to the field.
So both starters, there's Terry Vaughn alongside. Both starters have been knocked out today. There's the twisted knee of Mason.
And as you said, Eagle Eye, Dan Rasevich with the grab on the ankle and hanging on for dear life. And as Mason's forward momentum carried him, his knee buckled and twisted, and he had to leave the football game.
Eskimos driving now with Marcus Crandall at the handle. Delivers, and it's a completion. Rick Walters, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider, with a key catch near another first down.
Well, I like this catch. This is leaving your feet over the other shoulder and catching the football. Nice job. Marcus Crandall throws the football. Look at that, over the back shoulder. Nice job of concentration of catching that football. Hands exactly where you want to do. Let the ball hit you right in the palms. Nice job of catching by Rick Walters.
They've got it down to the 11-yard line now. Check that, the 16. So it's 1st and 10. The drive started on the Edmonton 25. Back to Millington, right side. Sean Millington inside the 5. And they haven't solved Millington yet.
No, they haven't, and he is having a field day running the ball against this front line and linebacking crew of the Roughriders right now. The offensive lineman and lead block, they're just doing a great job of finding somebody right there. He just finds an opening, and he will not be denied. Dan Rasevich finally coming over with Garrett to tackle him, but not before he picks up another first down. Just great movement. Look at this. That is 50. I mean, we're talking guys getting buried on the ground.
12 there. He's over 100 yards for the first time this season. And now first and goal, Millington down to the 2, and a flag is down, actually in the end zone, on the track outside the end zone. And I believe from the Eskimo reaction, well, who is it going against?
Well, I believe you're right, Chris. I think they're going to call it against Saskatchewan.
Too many players. Saskatchewan. First down, Edmonton.
Well, the old 13-man defense.
Well, they couldn't stop Millington with 12, so I figured they'd sneak an extra guy out there and see if that would help. They did come up and hold him short in that play, but unfortunately, 13 men will get you another first down and 3 more cracks from the 1-yard line.
Looks like Curtis Gallick didn't get out in time. And it's a fresh set of downs. First and goal. Millington again. You bet. His second of the day. And what a day for Sean Millington.
Well, he's basically been unstoppable. This line has come off firing on all cylinders today, and Millington is just doing the rest by just finding the hole, and more than that, just not being denied. He's getting the football, and again, it's full flight. By the time they make contact with him, he's already crossed the goal line and put up another 6 points.
So the backup quarterbacks have come in to engineer scoring drives. First and now Marcus Crandall. Just hand it to Millington. He'll get it done.
The 2000 Camry, now with extra value packages that let you add all the hardware and software you want. So why surf when you can drive?
Jimmy Rig, Hong Kong, Dieppe, Con, Cap Young. I'm Cliff Chatterton. In the War Amps Never Again video series, the stories are told by the Canadian volunteers who were there. Learn about the Newfoundlanders and Gallipoli, the murder of 130 Canadian POWs in Normandy, the award of a U.S. presidential citation to a Canadian regiment in Korea. The War Amps, preserving Canada's military heritage.
Hi, Ted.
Morning.
Oh, I need to see you in my office in 5 minutes. Karen Sue, meeting in my office, 3 minutes. Jim, meeting my office right now. I won't waste any time, so I will get right to the point. We're all getting a big raise from Lotto 649. We're millionaires! Just imagine!
Well, then, jumbo offensive unit of Edmonton, Leroy Blue, tight end, helps push another one across for the Eskimos.
Well, these guys right here on the other side, Elmesh Tube, Leo Groenewegen, just do an excellent job of getting to the opposite side of the defensive lineman, creating that hole. Beautiful scene for Sean Millington to run through and score an easy touchdown.
Obviously not quite like Walby, though. They said, get a shot at the offensive line, and then they all got up and left before we came back on the air. There's a big tackle by Picasso Nelson. That was a work of art as he upended Curtis Mayfield.
Well, we're going to have to see the big question again now. We saw Saskatchewan come up with a great last offensive drive as we see Picasso Nelson grab the ankle, take down the ever-dangerous Curtis Mayfield in the open field.
Come on, man! O-line! Nice tackle.
There's Elmesh Tube.
Rick!
From cell block 8.
Where's Rick?
Oh, quite a drive. That's the way the Eskimos got this game started. Sarkisian back at the controls, and down he goes. Upended by Leroy Blue, a double threat this afternoon.
Well, you saw Leroy Blue earlier just sitting on the bench. He is playing tight end on the offense, and boy, he can do it on the defense as well. He's just coming off the top up here, working against Ben Fairbrother. Nice swat move. Swat the offensive lineman to the outside, come back to the inside, and wrap up the goodies. This time it's the quarterback.
Loss of 5. Leroy's 5th sack of the year. Second against Saskatchewan. Second and 15. Sarkisian flushed out. Can't find anybody. Now escapes to Ricky Whittle. Has a first down. Got a couple of Eskimos down way behind the scenes. But Steve Sarkisian, the elusive one that time, and a big first down when Saskatchewan needed it.
Well, initially good pressure from the top. You're going to see up here, right here, is a twist between Leroy Brown and Robert Brown. Leroy Blue, excuse me. They fall on each other, one of them gets jumbled, but this is all Steve Sarkisian. Fights off the block of Assman, finds a guy, presence of mind to get the ball to Ricky Whittle downfield. That's a nice job.
Well, it was second and 15. They get 17 and a first down, and Robert Brown, who replaced the injured Doug Peterson, is now shaken up as the injury list for the Edmonton Eskimos continues to grow.
Mastercraft. It's tough stuff.
It's the way a good steak sandwich tastes like it came from a steakhouse. Introducing the HP Steak and Cheese Sandwich at Subway. Made for you, just the way you want it. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Oh, 5. 33. 93,747.2.
0.2? 1947-45.
Oh, 999. 422.2.
5.2.
522.
5.252.
759.
Excuse me. Are we making money?
Turn your numbers into real information with QuickBooks, the accounting software that makes business make sense.
What do you get when you put a Wendy's quarter-pound single served hot off the grill so it's hot and juicy with biggie fries and a 20-ounce drink, all for just $3.99?
You get one great lunch.
Wendy's $3.99 classic single combo. Come and get it.
Robert Brown on the cart. I don't know if they're going to take him straight to the locker room or not, but it's another Eskimo injury.
Well, I think they're just going to do it. What they're going to do is run a twist on me right there. Leroy Blue's going to come inside. Robert Brown's going to come to the outside. You can see Ben Fairbrother, 52, push him down in a pile. And him and Leroy Blue get tangled up. I think he's just going to get his ankle taped up again.
Under 11 and a half minutes to go. And here's Whittle. Shook an initial tackle and gets 5 up to the 40. Seems to be gaining confidence as the afternoon wears on.
He seems to be running stronger, much as you say, Chris. And that's a lot of times when a guy's finally getting comfortable with his offensive line. Remember, this is only his 3rd game with this unit. Once he starts getting some rhythm with these guys and some repetitions, he looks like he really can explode out of the backfield.
Sarkisian's thrown for 140 on the day. 2nd and 5, back to Whittle, and he'll be stopped short. Melvin Hunter celebrating a key tackle that will force Saskatchewan into a punting situation.
Well, that's a big play of coming up and stopping them short and forcing the punting situation, because they don't want to give Saskatchewan any opportunity to move the ball, not only into their field, but change field position. Right now, because they stopped it, where Paul McCallum punts the football, the Gizmo will still have good starting field position for the Edmonton offense.
Hunter playing in his 125th game today in the CFL. He's never missed in a 3-time Western All-Star. There's Gizmo. 10 and a half minutes to play. Gizmo will get a chance on the line drive punt. to the 43-yard line. 37-yard punt, 13-yard return. Here's Mark Lee.
Chris, Robert Brown is getting a lot more tape on that ankle, the right ankle. It is a sprain, but the training staff here, as Todd Richardson works on his ankle, believes he will be able to come back and finish this football game. That is not the case for the starting quarterback, Kevin Mason. At this point, the plan is to keep him on the sidelines and finish the game with Marcus Crandall.
One after another. Terry Vaughn still trying to loosen up the shoulder. And Marcus Crandall, who was criticized after his performance against Montreal, has to relieve a dejected Kevin Mason here this afternoon. John Millington. This time it's stuffed up after a couple of yards. Last week, Chris, they utilized the jumbo offense for a time, and then Montreal just clogged up the box with 9 defenders playing the run, and they had to get away from it.
But what happens here, as you can see, we got double tight ends right there. They've only got 4 guys right here. As a result, what happens is they're still getting movement. What Montreal did last week was they brought an extra guy, so they outnumbered the jumbo. That forced Don Matthews' offense to change its philosophy.
2nd and 8. Crandall from the shotgun. Over the middle, deeper, broke the tackle, first down and a lot more. The need of the Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, out of the backfield, and a big catch against the Roughriders.
Well, he says, not so fast, Mr. Millington. I can have some fun with this offense as well. And Deebert gets a nice flat pass right out of the backfield over the middle, finds it, and then does a nice job of breaking it. A tackle. Todd McMillan can't bring him down, and there he's off the races. This is another big horse to bring down.
Crandall smiling after a 22-yard gain for the fullback Deebert. Just his 12th catch of the year. Eskimos on the move at the Rough Rider 43. Millington, John Millington, and he will score.
The last time he ran was September 17th against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Didn't carry the ball a whole lot, but look at this. He finds a hole, a seam in the double tight end offense. Val St. Germain, Bruce Beaton, Elmer Stube, Groeneweg, and Morris, they're doing the job, and boy, he's reaping the benefits. He takes it all the way for a touchdown.
Came into the game with 163 yards rushing. He has 153 today and 3 touchdowns. And the Eskimos now have within their grasp their first home win in their last 7 starts.
It's fall, and people are coming home to Honda to see the people who know Hondas inside and out. And right now, Home Sweet Home is even sweeter because our Winterization Plus multi-point inspection plus oil and filter change is just $58.88. So why open your hood to strangers? Bring it home to Honda.
Heads up, Canada! M&M Meat Shops wants to send you and a friend to the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Just fill out a ballot at your local M&M Meat Shops location to enter and find out why it's the place to stock up on all your party food items. You could win one of 4 trips for 2, including flights, accommodation, and 2 gold-level tickets to the final Grey Cup of the century, courtesy of M&M Meat Shops, where there's hundreds of party food ideas in just one aisle. M&M Meat Shops and the Grey Cup. Let the party begin.
What do you think? $800? Needs new cap and wires, water pump, new exhaust, maybe even new struts. Hey, it's nothing we can't handle.
For guys who aren't afraid to tackle any job, there's the new auto parts department at Canadian Tire. Now with more brand name parts, all priced to meet or beat the competition. Canadian Tire, still the right place.
Mason said I should be fresh. But if Mr. Mason said it...
33,850, and Sean Millington is giving them plenty to cheer about. The latest, a 43-yard rumble to the end zone.
I'll tell you what, we talked about this guy right here. Leroy Blue is in a double tight end offense. When we run it, he just does a nice job of hand checking the outside guy and coming in and killing the linebacker. Look at Dan Rasevich. Gets knocked inside. That is a great job of opening a hole for your running back, Sean Millington, who takes it all away.
Here's Curtis Mayfield, slowed up by Andre Batson and Terry Ray. And now it's a 16-yard. Here's the celebration when Millington was rumbling to the end zone.
You know what? You can see a lot of happiness. We talked about this yesterday.
Come on,
we
baby.
watched
What's
them
up, man?
at practice. This is a team that really believes that when they get in the playoffs, that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
But they aren't in the playoffs yet. They win this afternoon. They're 7:59 away from that. They move back into a tie with Winnipeg. They'll come down to the final weekend. Bombers in Montreal, we'll have that for you Sunday, and the Edmonton Eskimos will be playing in Toronto on the final weekend.
Well, isn't it great when it comes down to the one game? Last game of the season. That's what it's all about, all the marbles.
And remember, Edmonton goes ahead to the playoffs if they finish in a tie with Winnipeg. The team that has to cross over has to have a better record than the third-place team in the other division. Steve Sarkisian looking downfield. Reggie Jones, he's got it. And there's plenty of time for Saskatchewan to do some damage yet. They get it into Edmonton territory on a 27-yard pass to Reggie Jones. And now Jones shaken up.
Well, just a nice job. You can see the linebacking crew here. Four guys rushing. They're trying to just get back in their depth right now. Drop back, get in your zone. 83 Reggie Jones does just a nice job of coming right in the middle. You're going to see him go up for the football right there. Catch it, great concentration in front of Eric Edwards, and then he pays the price when A.J. Gass tries to dislodge his head from his body. But a nice concentration catch right there, right in front of Eric Edwards. At 41, you can see him right now with the shoulder pad right under the chin, trying to dislodge the head from the body. And that's what shook up Reggie Jones.
Now Jones, a bright spot in a tough season on the prairie. It's like he's going to be all right. He led NFL Europe in receptions this year. He spent some time in Kansas City the past 2 seasons, but this is one of those guys, it would appear, based on his initial action in the Canadian Football League, you can help build an offense around. Let's check in with Mark Lee.
Well, Reggie Jones looks like he's okay as he's up and off the field under his own steam. Cal Murphy has been steaming mad at points during this second half. This was the scene back in 1984 on this very field when the Blue Bombers defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Cal Murphy, one of 9 Grey Cup rings. This man has, a true coaching legend, 44 years of coaching football. And here he is in perhaps his most difficult season, Chris.
And as you look ahead, you wonder if Cal Murphy will be on those sidelines next year. Donald Narcisse, his second catch of the game to the 35, and A.J. Gass is again in the vicinity. This time nailing Sarkisian.
Well, he got hit from the backside, and you know, Narcisse does a nice job of turning the ball up and getting a first down, but Sarkisian paid the price for throwing his football from the blind side. Melvin Hunter just drives him right into his own blocking back. Sean Daniels right into the turf, and this is the second time we've seen Sarkisian down, and this time they're working on the ankle.
Sean Daniels down. Sarkisian's gone to the bench and sort it all out and come back to Commonwealth after this.
The cold weather, that's why you'll love starting your car with the remote car starter. This week, just $99.99. Canadian Tire, still the right place.
While the big fullback gets attention, Sarkisian conferring with Cal Murphy, still after the elusive 100th win of his distinguished CFL coaching career. A lot of time left, Chris. 6:31 to go. They're 16 points down, 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point converts away from tying this game, but they are in striking position here with what has been a promising drive through the air for Sarkisian. Here's Mark.
Well, Chris, as you mentioned, the third and final playoff spot will be decided on the final weekend. We will be in Montreal, where the Blue Bombers will play the Alouettes. And big news this week, Alfred Payton, their leading sack master, did not make the trip to Calgary this weekend with the Alouettes. He's listed with a shoulder injury, although we have confirmed reports his name appeared on the waiver wire earlier this year. Recallable waivers, perhaps trying to give Payton a bit of discipline after he received 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties during last weekend's game at home against Edmonton.
You would figure that that is just giving Alfred a bit of a wake-up call. I can't imagine Montreal going into the postseason without Swack.
No, I think it's just a good move by Charlie Taft. Basically, the head coach of Montreal just saying, Alfred, nobody's ahead of the team. The team is the most important thing right now. We can't have anybody take penalties that are going to hurt the team. And so I think, as you're right, Chris, it's just a wake-up call.
Nice play by Marcelo Simmons to break up this pass intended for Mike Moore, who replaced the injured Sean Daniels. How about that tip last night into the hands of Nigel Williams? A CFL version of the Immaculate Reception, and a second straight miracle in Winnipeg on their home field. 2nd and 10, screen right into the hands of Grant Carter, who has his 4th interception of the year. But there is a flag down. So hold on, it's going against Edmonton.
Well, it's going against Edmonton, so they're going to bring it back. But Grant Carter does a great job of recognizing the screen, of not rushing the passer and sitting with the back, and Sarkisian throws it right to him. But unfortunately, it'll be nullified, and they'll stay on the field, and Saskatchewan will get another breath of hope.
Legal contact on a receiver. Edmonton, number 28, first down Saskatchewan.
Terry Ray called, and what an enormous break to keep Saskatchewan's hopes alive. Ray pleading his case. What an outstanding season he has had. 87 tackles, and the bulk of those coming from Labor Day on, when he was moved into the linebacking spot. So it's a first down at the 25. Ricky Whittle bounced off first contact, reverses his field, and won't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got to have the lead block for any play to be successful. And Mike Moore ran right into Melvin Hunter, who stuffed him back into the backfield. You can see him at the top of your screen right now. Pushes Mike Moore right back into Whittle. You got to have that. What the coach will say is, you can't take him high, take him low, which means go down, cut the legs out from under him, but allow the running back to get the corner.
Whittle ran into Maurer, then ran into Sarkisian, finally ran into the Edmonton defense. 2nd and 12. Sarkisian hit as he delivered, and it falls incomplete.
Well, it's a rough indoctrination for Mike Moore. Again, he's recalled. He's got a block now. We saw he tried to run block last time on Melvin Hunter. This time he's going to pass pro on Grant Carter, who just drives him right back in. Melvin Hunter there as well. And they've got to keep those big, fast defensive ends of Edmonton out of the backfield for Sarkisian to have any success throwing this football.
Mike Moore, one of the Regina Ram products on the Roughriders club. Grant Carter back, and boy, his eyes lit up as he moved in on Sarkisian, who will now hold on a field goal attempt from 35 yards out. And McCallum puts it through. So 3 more for Saskatchewan. They're down by 13. And still with time left, 4:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. Sean Matthews, this has been a new experience for him this year, fighting to make the playoffs.
Well, you can take a look at his record. I mean, look at this big three right here, winning the Grey Cup. I mean, Toronto, Baltimore, he's in the Grey Cup again, he's in the playoffs, and then of course he's had the 1 year back here, 91. That's probably the only blemish, except for the question mark this year. But the way the Edmonton Eskimos are playing today, and the way this offensive line and Sean Millington are playing, I tell you what, you got to think there's good things ahead for this Edmonton Eskimos.
Eskimos take over at their 35. Back to Millington, and look at this. First down, 11 more for Sean Millington, who on the day already 164 yards and these 3 touchdowns.
Well, he's just doing it every which way. I mean, short, just going off the line. The offensive line and fullback are doing a fantastic job of creating seams, and he's just doing the rest, breaking tackles and taking it all the way to the pay dirt. I mean, he is having the most fun that he's probably had in a number of years, loving every minute of it.
That's 1 more yard than his entire season coming into this game. Back to him, and this time, nothing doing. Saskatchewan hasn't been able to say that much this afternoon.
No, they did a good job of stuffing it at that time. But the thing is, you know, if you run a play that many times, eventually the defense should recognize it and should make the adjustments to stop it. But the good thing about running the football, though, is it eats the clock up, and that's exactly what they want to do. They're just putting a hat on a hat right there, getting out there. Arcade Trulak does a nice job of keeping Chris Morris right on the line of scrimmage, not allowing himself to be blocked out, and his teammates come over and do the rest of the job.
2nd and 10. Back to Millington, and this time he'll get 6, but they'll be forced into a punting situation. Less than 3 minutes to play. Commonwealth Stadium. Roughriders who get the ball back, but they're down by 13.
These are some of the iciest slopes in the world. Goodyear thinks it's a perfect place to demonstrate their Ultra Grip ice radials. I think they're nuts.
Goodyear's Ultra Grip ice radials are made with ice lock and innovative silica compound. You get improved traction and control on snow and ice.
Airtime!
This winter, get where you're going.
Hey, race you back up.
With Goodyear's Ultra Grip ice radials.
Goodyear, Goodyear.
The slalom from BF Goodrich. At last, a winter tire that grips to ice and bites into snow like nothing else. Slalom from BF Goodrich. Because Canadian winters aren't fit for man or beast.
Okay, who is ING Direct for? Well, it's for people who want to save time and money. And who doesn't? You don't have to change banks. You pick up the phone, tell us what you want to do, save, borrow, invest. And because you're banking by phone, you earn higher interest on your savings, pay less on loans, and we won't make you pay service charges. You're doing the banking. Call 1-800-ING Direct. Save your money.
Third down for the Eskimos, and in a punting situation with 2:52 remaining on the clock. Eskimos trying to move back into a tie with Winnipeg, and they have really beat the Roughriders in the season series on the ground.
Oh, big time. I mean, Nealon Green, Troy Mills, Sean Millington today with 170. We also know that Kevin Mason, when he played against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, rushed for 116 yards. So, I mean, they're very susceptible to the run, and they stuck to the game plan and found success again today doing it.
And again, when the Eskimos rush for 200 yards, they win. Eric Gilliford. Nailed at the 28, 7-yard return. And now the Roughriders will have to score quickly to get back in it. They need 2 majors.
Well, and especially, like you say, with 2:24, you know they got to start airing the football a little more than they have. You got to start looking at Curtis Mayfield. You got to start finding Eric Gulliford down the seam, but you got to try and create those one-on-one mismatches.
I had 60 and I already had 140.
Half the Commonwealth turf stuck to the shoulder pads of Sean Millington on the sidelines. See what Sarkisian can do. Dumps it off more, nailed, but hangs on at the 35-yard line. He has 6, and here's Mark.
Chris, 2:18 to go in this ball game. We are about 40 minutes away from Labatt Saturday night, beginning at 6:30 Eastern, kicking off our Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. Calgary and Toronto to play the Leafs, who have been strong and hardly missed a beat without their captain Matt Sundin. Of course, the nightcap, Nashville and Vancouver.
2nd and 5 play. An incomplete pass will force Saskatchewan into a punting situation.
Well, they got to give the ball up right now. They tried to get the ball to Narciso in the middle. Incomplete. You know, you almost wonder with Cal Murphy, if you pull one of his little bag of tricks out here, maybe fake a punt with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. Got to do something to kind of change the tempo of this game right now, because they seem to be just kind of gone into this little flat routine right now. They don't almost have a pulse.
You almost could have bet on it if Saskatchewan was still in the playoff hunt and needed a win today. Maybe less anxious to gamble in this circumstance. Ball kicked out of bounds. You know, the season lost for Saskatchewan, but I think, although Cal's showing the frustration there, that these guys played up to your expectations today about trying to leave something good on the films.
Well, that's what you have to have. I mean, obviously, since 1997, the Grey Cup, 8 wins, 26 losses. Big thing, though, and I'm a big believer in this, and this is it right here. 16 of 36 players are still on the roster. I really believe to have any kind of success in football, you got to build continuity and chemistry on your football team, and that means staying with certain people. Anytime you have a big changeover, what happens is you've got new guys coming in, they don't fit together, they may not gel, you have breakdowns, and you have losses.
Eskimos start at the 50. Millington trying to do some more damage. And this time he's drilled back, maybe got a yard. Remember, he had 212 yards against Saskatchewan. I know Rough Rider fans don't need reminding. 2 years ago as a BC Lion, he's up to 171 now.
Up to 171. The offensive linemen are still having fun, but they know this game is basically over with a minute 59 right now. They're having fun right now. What really goes on that the viewer at home can't hear is there's a lot of talk going on in the line now. Now they're verbally abusing each other right now. Saying, you know, there's a lot of, it's not like how you doing, hey, send me a Christmas card. It's pretty nasty down there. We've won the war, and we're going to let you know we've won it.
2nd and long, but Millington gets it again. Oh, he was within a shoestring of busting that one.
Well, thank God for Dan Rasevich putting that arm out, doing that arm tackle on Sean Millington, because it started like a Sleepy Hollow kind of play. Didn't look like it was going to break. Just slow, finds a hold though, and a nice job of breaking the initial tackle. Willie Pless, and Dan Rasevich sticks that arm out, and had Dan Rasevich not put that arm out, Millington would be romping for another huge gain. Nice job of just sticking the arm back in there and tripping up Sean Millington, because Sean thought he was going all the way.
Wide, 30-29.
180 and counting.
30-29. Go. What?
Here's Millington. Every play, more yards, and Plus isn't hanging on to the ankle again. They're coming within an ace of springing him again.
Well, I can tell you what, I know you're not supposed to be in stats, but I can guarantee you that on the sideline they got somebody charting how many yards Millington has, and they're going to try and get him 200 yards right now. Keep giving the football. Having fun doing it. We're getting success. Let's see if we can get the big 2-0-0.
Second down, 6. Millington, 424 yards last year. He may end up with half that on one afternoon. might not have been caught.
Well, this is definitely Sean Millington's day. We've talked about, look at it, he just cuts back, and that's just a good job of the offensive lineman on the backside, staying with their blocks. Backside is phenomenal. I mean, you just got to love the fact that Val St. Germain, Bruce Bean, look at the offense, look at the sidelines, hopping up and down. These guys are having fun playing football. What have we got, big man, for yardage?
Well, the latest total up to 219, a standing ovation as Millington comes to the sidelines. That's the biggest single game rushing total of the year in the league, and it's 7 better than the damage he did 2 years ago against Saskatchewan.
Well, you did bring that up, and that was, you said 26 carries, 212 yards, 1997 against, when he played for BC against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and boy, that's phenomenal.
Now the fans are letting the Eskimos have it because they put a knee down. They don't want to run it up here. They're going to let the clock run down. But the Edmonton Eskimos' longest ever home losing streak has ended today with a second home victory. And even though they are going to finish 2-7 at home, Chris, 33,850 showed up today. And remarkably, their season average well over 30,000. And this one is going to go into the books as a 34-21 win. The Eskimos back in a tie for that final playoff spot with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. On Sean Millington Day in Edmonton.
Sean Millington Day. Cal Murphy walking off very discouraged right now. But hey, you get up tomorrow, the sun will be shining, and you go back to the chalkboard.
Let's join Mark.
That's not bad.
Thanks, Chris. Sean Millington, that's not bad. I just told him 219 yards, the greatest single day on the ground in the CFL this year, and 3 touchdowns. And there's the game ball from head coach Don Matthews. That must just feel great.
It feels awesome. I got to give thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I sat and prayed about this before the game, and I felt like this was going to be my day. I said to the coach at the beginning, said to him at half, let's go, they can't stop it.
You had 163 yards in the entire season coming into this game, and I know you spent a lot of time blocking for Troy Mills. It must be nice to carry the ball for a change.
I've always said that I could do it. I've always said, that was something that was in my repertoire, and I think today we kind of definitively proved that again.
And the biggest story of all, you're still alive for a playoff spot.
Exactly. It don't matter what anybody else does. We got to control our own destiny, do things we need to do, and that's what we did today.
All right, Sean, congratulations. Good luck. It comes down to the final week. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Sean Millington, the workhorse today, 219 yards and 3 touchdowns. Edmonton beats Saskatchewan 34-21 to stay alive for the final playoff spot in the West.
Cellular service not available.
Mornings are never easy, but a hot breakfast sure helps. Start your day with McDonald's new freshly baked breakfast bagels. There's classic ham and egg, zesty Western omelet, and sizzling bacon and egg, all served on bagels we bake fresh daily.
We'll be back by midnight. No parties. Hey, something's different.
Different?
What's Monterey Jack on that pizza?
When you change the cheese, it makes a big difference. Change the cheese, change the taste.
This is nice.
The Road to Excellence, presented by the Dairy Farmers of Canada, Royal Bank Financial Group, and the Government of Canada. By winning her first international medal on the 1-meter springboard at the Commonwealth Games, Blythe Hartley serves notice she is one of the most promising divers in Canada. The 16-year-old followed up on that performance with a 2nd place at the Pan American Games, thereby reaching her most recent objectives. The Road to Excellence, recognizing Canada's amateur athletes.
The new Mastercraft. It's tough stuff.
Sean Millington, 3 touchdowns, 219 yards rushing, the greatest game by a running back this year in the CFL. And on the Edmonton bench, they're celebrating Sean Millington and the fact Edmonton is still alive. Thanks for watching, and so long from Commonwealth.
CBC Sports, Canada's Olympic Network.